shots.
I'm coming to make an announcement. Shadow the Hedgehog's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my fucking wife. That's right. He took his hedgehog fucking quilly dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife. And he said his dick was this big. And I said that's disgusting. So I'm making a call-out post on my Twitter.com. Shadow the Hedgehog, you got a small dick. It's the size of this walnut, except way smaller. And guess what? Here's what my dog looks like. That's right, baby. All points, no quills, no pillows. Look at that, it looks like two balls in a bong. He fucked my wife, so guess what? I'm gonna fuck the earth. That's right, this is what you get. Mike's super laser piss. Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher. I'm pissing on the moon. How do you like that, Obama? I pissed on the moon, you idiot.
Boys, girls, and MBs of all shapes, sizes, colors, and orientations, welcome to the one and only Alec Gunter stream. My name is Alec Gunter, coming to you live from gray, rainy, windy, overcast Ohio. Ugly day out there today, but, you know, whatever. How's everybody doing? Why is my camera so... not? I was messing with it a little bit because I was trying to fix the autofocus, but didn't really end up fixing it very well. What I did end up fixing, though, was before I started stream, finally fixed the alerts, so feel free to test those by giving me money, of course. But I did finally figure out what was going on. The way that the site works is that it integrates like the Twitch alerts with the site. Like the site alerts are the same as the Twitch alerts, with the only caveat being it uses Streamlabs instead of Stream Elements. So I used to use Streamlabs for all of my alerts on Twitch, and so it was giving, when I started streaming to Twitch again, I had Streamlabs and Stream Elements alerts going at the same time, and that's why we were getting double alerts, and it was a mess.
This is big brain time.
Yeah, exactly. Why did the visual cue not show? Or did it? I didn't see it if it did. Okay, well, I might have to fix the blurp alerts, but whatever. Blurp and sound alerts. Long time no see. I don't think so. I've been streaming a lot lately. That's like all I've been doing. It's all I wanted to do. Problem is, I have no idea what to talk about today, and I feel like because of that, I don't have a good title, and because of that, we don't have a lot of people coming in. So I might have to switch my title. Like, I didn't think I would care that much, but now that I'm looking and we only have 5 viewers on YouTube, we might have to liven things up a little bit with a better title. We got to figure out what we're doing first, though. You know what? Let's do this. You guys have privilege. You guys have privilege because you got here first, so you get to decide what we do. And then I'll change the title, and we'll go accordingly. Finally caught your stream on Twitch. Welcome in. You could not have caught me at a better time. We're trying to decide what to do today. I'm not big on, like, just basic news coverage. Like, I like... At least not today. Sometimes I'm in the mood, but I'm really not in the mood for that today. I feel like it's been nothing but news all the time. You know, and so I just am kind of newsed out. I'd rather just do, like, stupid reacts. Even though I have... Dude, my backlog for videos for Dubsy to edit is crazy. Like, I'm talking, like, 20 videos that we're behind on. Maybe not 20, but it's close. But I'm gonna have to start doing double uploads every day to get caught up. And I gotta get Guitar Rocker back on editing too. I come for Alex specifically. Ironic now though that the only reason I get notifications is because you started using Twitch again. It's the only site that tells me you're on. Well, you know, we had to fire up the Twitch again. We gotta make sure to get the word out in all manners that we can. I would stream to TikTok. I wouldn't have a problem streaming to TikTok and just doing the regular stream there. Biggest problem with that is the TikTok language. I can't do it. I hate it so much. Like, the TikTok censors are crazy. If it weren't for that, I'd be more than happy to stream to TikTok. And it would be really good for viewership, probably. But I just can't. I can't do the language. You cannot make me say unalived. Over and over and over. Sorry. Also, like, the whole thing with them not even letting you talk about trans people is insane to me. That's insane. How about you go into that group chat for the fundraiser and confirm availability? Group chat for fundraiser. I thought I did. Are you talking about the, you wanted to do some kind of D&D thing, right? I did confirm my availability. I just never heard anything about when we're starting. Hold on. I have a schedule up to view. Hold on. Now I'm the asshole. Oh, look at that. From a month ago? How did I miss that? So on Sunday, April 27th, we need a 4-hour period to... Is that to set up characters or what? Sorry, I'll try to... I'm not the best at responding or looking at messages, especially in group chats, but I'll try to be better about that. That is the stream. Hold on, I'm confused. What exactly... Hold on, I gotta go back, because I thought it was a D&D thing. Yeah, it is a D&D thing. So, so that's for the stream, so... I'm confused how this is gonna work. Squeeze about 4 hours of DMing out. Wait, I have to DM? No shot. I can't DM. Each one of those at the time block for each DM's one shot. So wait, are we all present for this? For the whole day? Like for each stream? I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. Like I can still do it. Don't get me wrong. I can still do it. Like I committed to it. I'm good. But like I just want to make sure I understand what's going on. You just have to be there for your block. Oh, okay. Got it. But to be clear, like, I'm the one DMing, or can I push that responsibility onto somebody who's not me, who could probably do a much better job? Like, don't get me wrong, I would enjoy, like, I like the concept of DMing. I would like to learn how to do it. I've just never done it before. And I don't know how good at it I would be. Ow. Sorry, there's a peely part of my lip. If you really can't come up with a one-shot, I can flip it around and DM for your block. I'll try. One-shot, Sexy Beast, thank you. Always appreciate that, Hydrant Campy. Thank you. Always hops in here just to remind me that people find me attractive. Very nice. Also, I forgot to wear a hat, but I think I look better without it in this outfit, to be honest. One-shot. Hold on, one shot DM. No. D&D campaign.
Kind of smell.
Don't like. Ow! I hurt myself. I peeled. You know how when you have a peely thing on your lip and you peel off a little bit too much? That's what I did. Went too far down. Peeled off fresh skin. It hurts. I'm gonna join a game after a long time of not being able to. A Pathfinder 2 game. That sounds fun. I haven't done D&D in a while. Last time I did it was with my wife's friend group. But I kind of dropped out because we were having some communication issues. Nothing personal, just like the DM was very committed to the story and I was very much not. And so out of respect, I was like, listen, I'm not... Like, we've been doing this a while. I'm sorry that I have to skip some days, but, like, clearly this is not working out. I'm just gonna sit it out. Like, I want to be respectful to you in your game. I just can't commit myself the way you want me to, so I'm sorry. That was the last time I played. The only 2 times I've ever played were both with the same group. The first time I was a rock gnome. Good job, Posada Bot. And then the second time, I was a Goliath? Yeah, Goliath. And I liked being a rock gnome better. I like playing... they both had their quirks, but I think I liked the rock gnome experience a little bit better. I could be a little bit more of a shithead. And be a goober. When are you gonna start doing playthroughs? I mean, I play sometimes on stream, but like playthroughs don't get any views ever. Like I've tried starting a second channel, nobody watches. Nobody, it doesn't work. Like if you're a politics streamer, you do politics or people don't watch you. I wouldn't be opposed, but like it just, I don't know. I should start playing something on stream though. Doesn't have to be D&D specifically. You could choose to run a different system if you wanted. Actually, you know what would be a good idea? I wonder if I could find a One Piece one-shot. One Piece D&D one-shot campaign. One Piece D&D one-shot story and lore. I'm looking for... Hold on, this is a thread. I could probably do a One Piece one-shot. One Piece D&D campaign ideas. I would probably have to watch a one-shot just to get an idea for how to structure it, because I wouldn't have to like build too much stuff, but like everything that I do build, I want to make sure that it's incorporated. So like I wouldn't want to build too much and not have time to get through it all. You know what I mean? If it's a 4 hours is pretty long though. Like for one sitting. Always do your research before DMing. Somebody set up an entire One Piece D&D like guide. Yeah, explore the One Piece dungeons in Devil Fruit's 5th edition supplement. 200 pages of content in the player's handbook and Dungeon Master's guide. Crazy work. Insane work.
They're eating the dog. They're eating the dog. They're eating the cat.
Crazy work. Like, I might look into that. But I only have, like, less than 2 weeks to get it together, so. And I want it to be good.
Rallies are concerned as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our foot in the door.
Thank you, President Xi. Thank you, President Xi. Thank you, President Xi. Thank you.
Okay. I'll look into that later.
What he did during COVID. Look at his tweet. Thank you, President Xi! Exclamation point.
One thing I thought about doing today, you guys remember Exulanzic? Who remembers Exulanzic?
Donald Trump was
Did you see the Man, the Myth, Metatron made a response? Yes, I did. And I made a response to the response, which has not been uploaded yet. I am currently uploading it to the Google Drive. And Dubsy will be editing it for us. And I don't take back, like, I didn't take back anything. He's just an idiot. The turf, yes, the turf. So Exulanzic, that is one of the turfs. It might be the only turf I've actually ever debated, like on my stream. I've debated plenty, like on Twitter and TikTok, but, oh yeah, that reminds me. Sorry, ADHD moment. But just as a side note, I got banned from TikTok, live, what are they called? Not, I don't know if I can still run a live or not. I haven't tested that yet, but I got banned from being invited to lives or requesting. I guess I pissed them off somehow. Anyway, Exulanzic. She was the only turf that I've ever debated for stream. This is her, turf extraordinaire, and she's like super obsessed with like, well, trans people of course, but like especially. Like, once she gets obsessed with somebody, she never really stops being obsessed with them. Yes, she's detrans. Once she gets obsessed with somebody, she never really stops being obsessed with them. So, like, we debated, and then she got pissy because I beat her, and she made like a 4-part video series coping about how I actually didn't beat her. I swear, I swear, bro. And I forgot she existed for a long time, and then she tagged me on Twitter like 3 times. And the first 2 times I was like, what do you want? Like, can I help you? I forgot you exist. And then the 3rd time she was like, hold on. Let me see something. One sec. I'm looking for the exact tweets. I want to make sure I get this right. Here we go. Yeah, so this was the 3rd time she added me. According to Punished AG, so this is the tweet she was like replying to. Why didn't they sew Jazz's legs together and turn him into a mermaid? That's what he really wanted. I mean, it makes as much sense as this does. So for those who don't know, Jazz Jennings is a trans woman that they like to shit on for no reason. Like, they always... It's so weird because they always bring her up, and they're like, oh my god, like, we feel so bad for him, quote-unquote, because, like, he, quote-unquote, ruined, quote-unquote, his life, right? But, like, she's happy with everything. She's happy with everything. She's doing fine. And then on the other hand, they'll, like, make fun of her with shit like this. So, like, it's completely disingenuous. And Edgy Lansing said, according to Punished AG, it's because mermaids aren't real, like human sex changes. And then I retweeted it. I was like, why does this skinwalker keep tagging me? And then I tagged her. I said, if you want to talk about something, I'm easily accessible via email. Never received an email. She replies, last time I tried engaging with you, you got so frustrated at being wrong that you started making comments about my mother. Have you matured since then? And then I replied, frankly, I don't remember what I said to you, and I don't really care either. You occupied 0% of my mental space until you started tagging me again. Clearly, you're trying to get my attention, so what do you want? And then she left me alone. And she's not tagged me since. But it reminded me of her pathetic existence and made me want to cover her in some capacity. But like everything I search on YouTube is like a 30-minute to 2-hour video of her just chatting it up with another disgusting turf. So. I actually don't mind Metatron in the language community, but his political views are abhorrent. Well, it's ahistorical, and he, for some reason, only likes to talk about it when it's, like, anti-white, quote-unquote, right? The only time. Like, he never talks about any other types of racism, ever. Like, you can say slavery's bad all you want, but if it's slavery is bad, but, then it's probably not going to be a very good point, man. No, guys, I promise, slavery's bad, okay? Slavery is bad, but... you gotta admit, they learned some useful skills, didn't they? And it's like, well, yeah, but that's not the point. Like, the point is they were tortured and owned as property. It was pretty fucked up, actually. Like, Ron DeSantis was literally trying to make it so that we taught both sides of slavery. And he's sitting here like, well, people are getting angry about this, and I just think, you know, I just think that, like, it's true that, like, black people did learn skills from being slaves, and it's like, yeah, they learned how to fucking pick cotton, like, and survive torture. That's what they learned, and so, like, that doesn't make slavery good in any capacity. That doesn't. Like, we don't not teach that. It's just not the focal point. It's like, yeah, they were forced to pick cotton. We can take from that they got pretty damn good at picking cotton because their literal lives and health and pain-free existence depended on that. Pain-free. As free pain as you can be as a slave. Like, it's insane. And he's sitting there being like, no, like, it's fine, guys. Trust me. This is fine. So yeah, I just don't buy it. Like, it's ahistorical and a little bit fascist, to be honest. I know he doesn't like that word, but hey, you know, don't police my language. Okay, we got to figure out what to do today, and we need a juicy title, because I need more attention. I'm begging for attention. Don't put in the papers, but I am in fact begging for attention. So what are we doing today? I wanted to cover Exulansic, but I can't find anything good to cover on her. Let's check the juice box. What do we got in the juice box? Oh, this... I already had this pulled up. Worst president ever, featuring Abraham Lincoln. Well, I'm no history buff, but I'd love to hear why he thinks Abraham Lincoln was such a bad president. New Alpha Male channel. New Alpha Male channel just dropped. 57 minutes. 38 subscribers. I'm not... Dude, there's no shot. No shot. I think not. No. If there's one rule of being a leftist politics streamer, it's that you don't blow up tiny channels. Unless, like they're a very rare like, as a general rule, don't blow up tiny channels that disagree with your politics. Don't do it. Like, you gotta have at least a solid 1,000 subscribers, or have a video with, like, at least a solid 1,000 views for me to even consider reacting to you. Unless it's, like, some insane shit. I saw his language channel reacting to another YouTuber in that community, and he skipped the part where the YouTuber showed a Palestinian charity. Of course, yeah, why not? That was probably, Bad Empanada, if I had to guess. He had some beef with him. I had a little bit of beef with Bad Empanada, but only because I reacted to one of his videos, then immediately took it down because I didn't want the heat. But, I just, like... I don't know much about Empanada. I know that he sucks ass when it... Like, he sucked when it came to telling people to vote for Kamala Harris because he was telling people, like, we deserve Trump and shit. But, like, he's, like, the last person I would want to go after right now, I think. I just don't care enough. Didn't he respond? He did, and I never went over it, and I don't want to. I don't want to. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's so beneath me right now. Like, not him specifically, just, like, that... Like, opening up that can of worms. Not happening. Not happening. I kind of love Abraham Lincoln. I've heard good things about Abraham Lincoln. Here, let's edit the title. I'm gonna have to do this twice because I'm on 2 platforms now. Many people are saying that Abraham Lincoln, actually pretty pog, all things considered. Not, like, perfect, but actually pretty pog, all things considered. When you really think about it. Was Abraham Lincoln bad? Question mark, question mark? What else? We need something else. We need to spice it up. Jimmy Mike's always has great Mentis Wave. Why have I heard of this person? Jimmy Mike's in the Discord server always has great suggestions. This one's a little long though. He's saying that as someone from the third world, his perspective is different, but there's reason for it. Someone who lives in the third world? Wait, who is? Bad Empanada? Does he live in the third world? I thought he lived in Australia. Something trans always gets views? True! We should do something trans. Yeah, I'm not into Mentis Wave. Nothing sticks out. 4chan hack? Was there... I briefly heard on Walsh's stream earlier. There was a 4chan hack, I believe. Let's take a look. 4chan just got hacked. Breaking news.
Hi, I am Joe, an artificially generated news.
How about no? What in the fuck was that? What?
Hi, I am.
No. No. I'm not even dignifying it. I was gonna react to it and be like, you gotta be shitting me. I'm not even dignifying it with a react segment. Nope. Nope. I thought about it for just a second and I'm like, no, no, fuck you. Hell no. Argentina. He's originally from Greece, though, as far as I know. He looks like Napoleon Zervis to me, as someone who spent a lot of time studying the Greek Civil War. I just, like... Okay, I didn't know he lived, like, in the third world. Argentina. Is that the third? I thought it was, like, second world. I don't know the delineations. I'm not well-versed in geopolitics, to be honest. Not as well as I should be, for sure. Okay. What else we got here? 4chan got hacked. 4chan just got nuked. Is this the end? How exciting is this? Is it that exciting? Like, I don't care that much about 4chan. Like, I used to use it for porn, but that's about it. Otherwise, like, I've never really explored it very much. I thought Second World was ex-Soviet countries. I have no idea. I don't know. No idea. I know that it's like it's kind of built on racism, but like it does kind of still have some vernacular use, but it's much better it's much more proper to say like the global south rather than third world. First world aligned with USA during Cold War, second world aligned with USSR during Cold War. Third world is aligned with neither. At least I think it's based on Cold War. Yeah, that makes sense. Wasn't there a Matt Walsh video in the juice box? Yeah, like, yeah. Fine. What's he up to? I don't want to do the one in the juice box. That's like Tim Pool versus Matt Walsh. Why holding this opinion of Luigi Mangione is completely diluted? Ooh, wait. This could be good. This could be pretty good.
This morning.
Matt Walsh on Luigi Mangione. Okay, we got two. Can we get one more? Let's get something about the transes. Have you heard about these guys, the transes? Have you heard about these people? They're pretty cool. I hear they're pretty cool. Rumor has it, they're pretty cool. Let's try... Never heard of them? Well, you have now. Met a few? I do also try to avoid the terms altogether. Same here. It just feels weird. I'm like, we're ranking people based on like, let's be real. We're ranking people based on the color of the skin of the country they were born from. Like, generally that's how it works. Like, let's be real. Like, you got brown skin. Oh, you're from a third world country. Yeah. Good stuff. Let's try. What about furry stuff? Furries also tend to pull people in. We got furries. Here, let's just search furry. Let's see what we got. Maybe we can find both. Maybe we can find something that is both trans and furry. It would be a bonus. Upload date, let's try this week. Furry, uploaded this week. YouTube's most deranged furry predator hunter. An hour and a half from Lanza? That sounds crazy, but not for this stream. Let's try furry politics. See what comes up. And sort by, says this week. Canada Furry Con removes anti-fascist stickers. Remember that one anti-furry guy came on and just said it's just memes over and over again? I do remember that. Somebody made an entire video covering that, and it was kind of crazy. I don't think that that was one of my stronger debates, to be honest. I just felt like I was lecturing him like a father to a child. I was just like, you don't understand, son. This is not healthy behavior. This is not conducive to a proper society, my boy. You should stop posting memes about wanting to kill people. That is bad. Unless those people, like... no, honestly, just don't. Like, just don't. Like, why would you? Don't. Negative energy. And especially towards furries, of all people. It's like, okay, you want to kill memes, you want to post memes about killing Nazis, whatever. But, like, even that, I would argue, is pretty negative energy. Just, like, the idea of murder is negative in general. So, like, you know. Besides, you start making memes about killing Nazis, and they're all like, "Oh, you're making fun, you're joking about killing us just because we want to kill everybody else," and then you gotta, like, you know, deal with that. It's a lot better to just make fun of them, in my opinion, and belittle them. They want to be a big enough threat that we are forced to kill them, right? Which I would never do, of course. Killing is bad. But they want to be a big enough threat that we are forced to kill them. If you treat them like they're not, that's usually the best way to get under their skin. Okay, I'm not finding anything furry related. Sorry, I'm still looking through. I don't want to do another quartering video. The last one we did was hilariously pathetic. What else? We have to promote anti-violence in society. Generally speaking, that's pretty good to do. I agree with punching Nazis. I think that's fine. But other than that, yeah, I would say, you know, you're not required to punch Nazis, and I'm not encouraging such, but, like, if you do punch one, I just don't give a shit. Like, why would I? Yeah, it's usually pretty funny, yeah. I wouldn't doubt if they are still saying we use litter boxes. I literally, me and my sibling Max went to a Republican meeting where they had a local, it's like the biggest local news station on the radio, like conservative guy. And Max questioned him about, because he was taking a couple questions. So Max questioned him about, like, the litter box thing, because he was shilling that idea a while back. And the guy literally just said, I don't have a responsibility to fact check my sources. Like that's literally like what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but kind of not. Like, he literally was just like, no, you don't understand. Like, we do the show live, so, like, I don't have to fact check. It was crazy. The only critique I have for Nazi is that it's a waste of your time to engage. That's the only critique you have for Nazis? I have quite a few, actually. Number one being, like, if you believe the things you do, perhaps you just don't deserve to be alive. Like, let's be real. So either change it or die. I searched furry. Look at this. Trump's masterpiece ruined by his furry critic. Mute. Not getting copyrighted today. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This is like... This honestly makes me question whether I want to continue, like... breathing. Like, I don't... Like, what do we do with this? What do we do when society reaches this point? There's so much to unpack with why I despise this. I don't even know where I would begin. Okay, I don't think we're gonna find anything just by searching furry. Who's like a fun person? Who's a fun punching bag that we haven't reacted to in a bit? Gonna hang myself from a shoelace in Minecraft. Nice. Oh, to threaten them. Got it, Vow Talks. I figured you... I was just being a piece of shit. Who's a funny person that we have? What's Asmongold up to? I mean, I've looked at him recently, but he's like the biggest politics Twitch streamer right now, so I'd like to see if he's got anything juicy. He live streamed watching Trump with the El Salvador president. Nice. I'm sure he had great things to say about that. Democratic Party will go extinct soon. What happened in England? Bill Maher met Donald Trump. Ugh. It just doesn't seem that exciting to me. Did y'all hear Canada's heading into an election? I did. Okay, so what about, see, there's Asmongold. What's Brett Cooper up to? I haven't looked at Brett Cooper in a bit. What Hollywood can learn from the Minecraft movie? Oh yeah, she like had to restart. She had to start from scratch. I completely forgot. Like, her Daily Wire shit is just like not here. I'm assuming it's somewhere else. That's wild. I forgot about that. Let's see what she's got. They're all like 30 minutes. Oh yeah, I started watching that one. We'll try someone else. Anyone see any good sets at Coachella? I did not go to Coachella, so no. Michael Knowles? Ew, Michael Knowles. Fine, I'll check. We already have him at Walsh. You're really gonna make me go through both of them? Oh wait, it's another Luigi Mangione. They're back on their bullshit with Luigi Mangione. That's wild work. It's like the general public is in favor of him. SNL slams gays purchasing babies through surrogacy. Very nice, very nice. Okay, maybe we'll take a look at that. Okay, so we've got Do I want to do Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh in the same day? That seems like a that seems bad for my health. We'll search for one more person. Let's see if we can find one more to replace Michael Knowles with. If we can't find somebody in like a decent amount of time, we'll just get started. Have you reacted to PragerU Kids cartoons before? No, the one time that I did react to like a conservative cartoon, that was I was dressed up as Eggman, and that was I can't remember what the show was called. It was actually fairly well produced, but like I didn't disagree with a lot of it, but then like the ultimate lesson was at the end, like it was basically just a libertarian message, like a liberal libertarian kind of thing, you know, that doesn't address the root cause of like economic suffering and such. So I was mostly just pissed off at the ending. Oh yeah, I remember the ending. No, I remember it. So they had these two kids who refused to take government funding for their business because they didn't want to quote unquote ruin the economy. I remember that now. That was crazy. Honestly, I'm still advocating for Canadian socialists to vote NDP over Liberals. I don't know anything about you guys' political system, so I'm not sure how useful my comment would be. In general, I think it's useless to vote for a party that has no chance. So if the NDP party has no chance, I just don't understand why you would vote for them. If it's ranked choice, sure, but if it's not, then, you know. This was a response to someone saying something about the Canadian election. Gotcha. What's that one Christian guy who does all those street debates? I don't know, but you did remind me of a different Christian person. Was it the atheist tier list? No. The atheist arguments. What's the guy's name? Redeem Zoomer! What's he been up to? He does a lot of religious infighting. Like, he fights a lot with Protestants and I forget what... He's a Presbyterian, so he is a Protestant. But, he fights a lot with, like, Catholics and shit. It's kind of boring. Like, let them fight, sure, but, like, it's kind of boring. I like it better when he fights with me. Yeah, it's just a lot of... Evolution does not contradict the Bible? Like, I just don't care. Like, yeah, no, not him. God's Gang? I'm not reacting to God's Gang. I've watched like 3 people react to God's Gang. The shock factor's gone. It's a stupid show. It's funny as hell. Like, the idea is funny as hell. But, like, I don't know who it's for. I have genuinely no idea who it's for. Interdenominational Christian bickering is the definition of kids, you're both awful. Exactly. Bash some neo-Confederates if you can find any fun. My friend kept sending me videos from this one old guy to convert me. Let's try Christian street interviewer. Interviewer. Is it this Living Waters guy? Is this it? Is that the guy? Let's take a look at what we got. I can't remain silent. This is going to make millions angry.
This is some to mention the reality of this issue is way too important, but please hear me out before you make a judgment. This issue is way too important, pillar of gospel tracts, and to make it palatable, and in doing so, it causes it to lose commandments as Jesus did. To mention the death, he's presented as a that to Stephen as he was being stoned. Disciples.
This seems
who were
boring.
murdered for their faith, or to the millions. This modern false.
No thanks. Yeah, no thanks. What else we got? Jews and Jesus don't mix. Very nice. Am I wrong for believing in Jesus? What non-Christians think about Christians. These are from like years ago. Here's a recent one. Iranian Muslims' brain breaks after realizing Islam is evil. Well, you could argue Christianity's evil too. Let's just search. Are we in the mood for a street interviewer? I guess chud content has some wacky thumbnails. Oh yeah. Religion is a blight on humanity. I mean, like, there's some, I've thought about it, and there are some aspects of religion that I think are fine. Mostly the spiritual stuff. I find that, like, believing in things that are neither provable nor disprovable is not that big of a deal. It's when you, like, insist that you're correct that it becomes problematic. You know, like if you can at least admit that, like, okay, there's a chance that I'm wrong about this, but this is what I believe, then I'm usually fine. What's Ben up to? Not Ben Shapiro. Not the Daily Wire guys. You already have a Matt Walsh video. Who's the heck off commie guy? No, wait, hold on. Who is that? What is his name? I haven't heard about him in a long ass time. Doyle? John Doyle. Okay, I mean, we can try. What's John Doyle been up to? How Trump's tariffs restore erased history of American nationalism. These are... I'm sorry that I keep saying the videos are long, but they kind of are. And also, like, I don't know if I'm in the mood for him. Good suggestion, though. I would say Andy Pants Gaming, but I feel like all of his content is like exactly the same. He's like an out Nazi. Oh yeah, for sure. Like a white supremacist for sure. Everyone's talking about this pro-life versus pro-choice street interviewer thing. Ew, what is this? No. That looks like AI. No. Gross. I don't know if I want to cover that. Andy Pants? Okay, let's see what he got going on. We got to get a move on though. We've been searching for too long. I'm supposed to do this before stream starts. Pushification of video games. I think I've already watched this one. Or no, I watched a different one that's like very similar. Sorry, I'm being picky tonight. Here, we'll just do this. Okay, got it. Send it. Okay, got that. All right. I think we're good. Free Andy Pants slop. Maybe if we get to it.
So in case it wasn't clear,
Yeah, if I'm still in the mood, then maybe. Let's cover the other stuff first. I guess I should get started on this first one. I've been streaming for like an hour and I still have not done anything. So, I'm not a history buff, but generally speaking, I find Abraham Lincoln to be a pretty decent president overall. I mean, he is the guy who fought against the people who wanted slavery. So, like, I just think he did a pretty good job. Like, from what I've heard, right, from historical accounts, he could have railed harder against slavery. Like, it wasn't like he was a little bit liberal on the issue, but at the very least, you know, he's the guy who freed the slaves, basically, right? So, you know, when you say that he's the worst president ever, as this Arthur Greenwood does, I just have to kind of raise an eyebrow and be like, well, what an odd thing to say. Nuclear power, world peace, and a million tiny Liechtensteins in the stars. What's a Liechtenstein? I have no idea what that is. Anyway, let's see why Abraham Lincoln is the worst president.
No man in American history so mythologized as Abraham Lincoln. He's been turned into this mythical, stately, upright figure, the archetypal American hero, Honest Abe. I mean, he's on Mount Rushmore for crying out loud. The man's basically a saint. Every time we poll Americans on their favorite president, the answer comes back the same. Abraham Lincoln.
Lincoln is the other guy in that top tier, beyond simply leading America through the Civil War and to a new birth of freedom.
I love it when conservatives are too conservative for Ben Shapiro. It's so funny.
He is by far the most popular president among liberals and conservatives alike. And of course he is, right? He was a noble, wise, godly leader. He saved the Union and he ended slavery. Right?
Yes.
Not exactly.
This is copyrighted. Hold on. Nope. Not doing it. Not even taking the chance. We'll wait. This guy's gonna say Lincoln was the worst president because he was gay. I hope that's the reason. Did you know he had a secret male lover? Oh, what if he brings up his relationship with Karl Marx? Ooh, I hope Karl Marx comes up. He was in bed with the demon known as Karl Marx. No.
Lincoln, there's a pretty huge elephant in the room. So let me be very clear. I am not defending the Confederacy. I am not defending slavery.
We're going to start off with that, man. That's how we're going to start a minute into this video, yeah? To make it clear, right? Do not put in the papers that I defended the Confederacy or slavery in any way. But, good start.
I'm not some sort of lost cause neo-Confederate. I'm not here to defend the South. My point is not that the South was somehow good, but that Lincoln was bad. I'm an enlightened centrist, okay? Both sides are bad. Lincoln did not say...
No, you don't get to do both sides in the fucking American Civil War. One side was clearly the bad guys, okay? I'm sorry. Like, that doesn't make the Union absolutely perfect. I'm sure that some shitty things happen in the Union, sure. But, like, I'm sorry, when you're talking about the American Civil War, Union good guys, Confederacy bad guys, period, end of story, okay? You do not get to be a centrist on that.
He was not a hero, he was a fanatic, whose terrible decisions killed hundreds of thousands of men. But you're not
enough, if you ask me.
Allowed to say that.
Should've
As
gone
Richard
further.
Gamble wrote, Lincoln's legacy
Reconstruction
has been fashioned
needed
carefully
more.
in marble and bronze, sentimentalism and myth. He is enshrined...
The South attacked first? Oh, is that a first lie? Hold on. Like I said, I'm not a history buff. But yes, I'm fairly sure that the South attacked first. Civil War. Let's double check what his claim was. Real quick. So what was his claim?
He was a... Lincoln did not save the Union. He destroyed it. He was not a hero, he was a fanatic, whose terrible decisions killed hundreds of thousands of men. But you're not allowed to say that. As Richard...
Well, but if the South attacked first... Yeah, he's blaming Lincoln for the Civil War. It's like, what do you expect? Like, the South attacked first. At 4:30 a.m. on April 12, 1861, Confederate troops fired on Fort Sumter in South Carolina's Charleston Harbor. Less than 34 hours later, Union forces surrendered. Traditionally, this event has been used to mark the beginning of the Civil War. It was literally the Confederates who shot first, man. That was not Lincoln's fault.
Gamble wrote, Lincoln's legacy has been fashioned carefully in marble and bronze, sentimentalism and myth. He is enshrined in his own marble temple, surrounded by his sacred texts. Befitting his place among the gods, his mortal deeds have become redemptive works of national righteousness. To doubt their wisdom or prudence or legacy is to entertain heresy.
This is always, like, the argument. Like, you can't question, like, especially for, like, George Floyd, right? You can't bring up that he was a criminal. It's like, nobody's saying you can't bring up that he's a criminal. They're saying that you need to pay attention to the circumstances surrounding George Floyd's death and why they're important. That's it. That's literally it. Like, it's not as though Abraham Lincoln was perfect. And he gets criticized all the time, mind you, especially by the progressive left, who say that he did not go far enough. He was not anti-slave enough. And he probably wasn't, okay? Like, he was a bit of a liberal at the time. In today's vernacular, we would have considered him kind of a liberal, okay? Like, there are issues that people have with Lincoln that they point out all the time, okay? And I've never seen somebody who's meaningfully and insightfully criticizing Lincoln be called out as, like, a bad person for doing so.
The Civil War was the bloodiest conflict in American history. More Americans died in this war than in both world wars combined. That doesn't even count all the boys who were maimed, who came home missing arms or legs or eyes. And
yeah, you can blame the fucking slave owners for that. Why are we blaming Lincoln? The South started this shit when they refused to give up their slaves. Sorry.
Had to live that way for the rest of their lives.
They wanted their damn slaves so bad.
The tragedy of the war must be measured as it was experienced. In the loss of homes and sons. In unfathomable heartache, humiliation, and...
In the loss of farms. So many farmers lost their farms and all the property on it.
Spiritual anguish.
Think about that.
So we have to ask, was it worth it? Ending slavery
yes!
is a noble goal. That's a good thing to do. We all agree on that. But...
was the Civil War worth it? Yeah, I think it was, actually. Yeah, I think that it was a worthwhile endeavor.
Was it worth slaughtering 600,000 American boys? Was it worth the bloody carcass?
There were not 600,000 American boys. There were, well, you're lumping them all together. The Confederates were not American. They weren't. They seceded. They seceded from the nation of America. They were not American anymore. So spare me this bullshit. Yeah, I mourn for the American lives lost. I don't give a shit about the Confederate lives lost. I really don't. I don't care.
The sawed-off arms, the towns.
What were they fighting for?
The mothers robbed of their 17, 18-year-old sons. The truth is, if Lincoln had just let the South go, if he hadn't launched a massive, brutal invasion, slavery would...
The South started it. He didn't launch a fucking... Dude, no, this is disingenuous. We're not even going to, like... talk about the fact that the South started the war. Lincoln was, I believe, trying to settle it without war. Here, let's fact check this. Lincoln tries to avoid war. It's not like any president wants the war. Here we go. From Digital History. In his inaugural address, Lincoln attempted to be both firm and conciliatory. He declared secession to be wrong, but he also promised that he would, quote, not interfere with the institution of slavery where it exists. Like, this is the actual criticism that I have of Lincoln. Like, he is quoted as saying he would not interfere with the institution of slavery where it currently still exists. He was too much of a liberal on slavery. He announced that he would use, quote, the power confided to me to hold, occupy, and possess the property and places belonging to the government. But he assured Southerners that, quote, there would be no invasion, no using of force against or among the people anywhere. When he delivered his inaugural address, the new president assumed that there was time for Southern pro-Union sentiment, which he greatly overestimated, to reassert itself, making a peaceful resolution to the crisis possible. The next morning, however, he received a letter from Robert Anderson informing him that Fort Sumter supplies would be exhausted in 4 to 6 weeks and that it would take a 20,000-man force to reinforce the fort. Lincoln received conflicting advice about what to do. Winfield Scott, his commanding general, saw, quote, no alternative to surrender, convinced that it would take 8 months to prepare naval and ground forces to relieve Fort Sumter. Secretary of State William H. Seward also favored abandoning the fort to avoid provoking a civil war, but also considered the possibility of inciting a foreign war, probably with France or Spain, as a way to reunite the country. Let's start a war with somebody else so we can, pull ourselves back together. That always works. Lincoln's Postmaster General Montgomery Blair and Treasury Secretary Salmon P. Chase favored dispatching a force of warships and transports to relieve the fort and assert federal authority, since, quote, every hour of acquiescence strengthens the rebels' hands at home and their claims to recognition as an independent people abroad. So he did try to end this peacefully. The South started this shit.
Probably have ended in a couple generations. You'll notice that all of the other civilized countries did not have to fight bloody civil wars in order to end slavery. England, France, Spain, the Netherlands, Denmark, they all ended slavery without war. Lincoln
the South started it.
Praise for winning the Civil War, but for all intents and purposes, he also started the Civil War.
No, he didn't.
Let the South go peacefully, but
no,
instead,
he did. This is
blocked their
ahistorical,
ports and
man.
imposed ridiculous tariffs on them. Whether you like tariffs or
Good.
not, this blockade was probably the worst thing he could possibly have done. Instead of easing tensions with
Wait, tariffs on who? The people producing products as with slave labor? Yeah. Yeah, tariff the shit. Don't do business with them, actually. Like I said, he did not even go far enough.
South, Lincoln blocked their ports with military force. He blocked their trade, which their entire economy depended on, making them feel even more
Their trade of what?
Desperate and
Their trade of what? What products? And where did they come from and who made them? And were any of them humanoid in nature?
Trade. The war began about 1 month after Lincoln took office. His armies burned southern cities to the ground and slaughtered countless civilians with genocidal glee. Throughout the war, it was very common for the Union Army to enter a town, burn it to the ground, and steal whatever they could get their hands on.
Good.
In Bluffton,
I don't care.
South Carolina, they burned
I don't
every
care.
single private home. Why? Why was there so much hatred for the South? How did America become so divided? To answer that question, we have to go back to the beginning.
No, I can't do... Oh, fuck.
There was a...
I love you, Sam Cedar, but not now.
There's probably...
God damn it, where were we?
He enslaved...
Were we this far?
Rubbish!
Here we go. Why did people hate the South? Yeah, I too hate the South, actually, from that time period. Yeah.
America is a nation with two distinct roots. The North was largely settled by radical religious movements, the Quakers and the Puritans, who came to the New World as an act of protest against the traditional Anglican Church of England. The South, on the other hand, was largely...
I don't know if I'm interested in a history lesson here. Hold on.
Like Cromwell, Lincoln rejected traditional Christianity, though Lincoln took it even farther, and it's possible he wasn't even Christian, just some sort of deist. You know who else was a deist? You know who else was a radical? Thomas Jefferson. Lincoln's critics usually compare him to Alexander Hamilton. They say that Lincoln was a dictator who increased the powers of the president. But that is not my argument. Look, I won't deny that Lincoln had some Hamiltonian beliefs. He did believe in a strong federal government and public works and tariffs. But I actually think that Lincoln's worst beliefs come straight from Thomas Jefferson.
Okay. What is this?
70 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation.
Not true. Jefferson was a slaver. I don't know much about it.
Conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all
Lincoln was a
men
red?
are created equal.
You've probably heard that line 1,000 times, and it's so iconic at this point that we all just take it for granted. But this is actually a deeply, deeply controversial and political statement. Lincoln said,
You were right, it's Marx. I was right? Oh, yo, you're right, because because he was in bed with Karl Marx. Yeah, see? Told you.
that America is, quote,
Called it.
dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Is that true? Is that what America is dedicated to? Equality? If you went back to 1787 and asked George Washington what America was about, do you think he'd...
You know what America should be about? Equality, okay? That's what it should be about. I don't give a shit what Washington had to say about it. Don't care.
Answer equality? If you went back to 1776 and asked the Carolina militiamen or the Virginian aristocrats what they were fighting for, do you think they'd answer equality?
I want to know what you would answer. What do you think about equality, man? Huh? What do you think? Do you think all men are created equal? Do you think all people are created equal? They should all have equal opportunity to succeed and do what they want in life? You know, like, or do you view them as not equal, like inherently? I'm just asking questions.
No. And yet, because of Abraham Lincoln and the Gettysburg Address, this single line has become the motto of America. When modern neocons and
That's not a bad
that
thing.
America is a propositional nation, that America is just an idea, this is where that comes from. Lincoln also talks about democracy. Remember that iconic closing line? That government...
No, please don't say that it's not a democracy. Please don't say that America's not a democracy. It's a constitutional republic. I'll lose my shit.
The people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Once again, this has become a de facto motto of the United States. But we didn't always see ourselves this way. Government by the people? No, that's mob rule. Most of the founders...
No. We're doing it. We're doing the thing. Rule by the majority is mob rule. We can't have democracy, guys. No. We need kings. No. We need monarchs. We need people to tell us what to do. No.
Hated democracy. They wanted very
I don't care.
Coverage, and they wanted power in the hands of a meritocratic elite. The natural aristocracy.
Yeah, okay, I don't
care. But the
care.
Jeffersonian vision of egalitarian democracy, which evolved into Andrew Jackson's even more egalitarian democracy, slowly took over and gained permanent dominance under Abraham Lincoln.
Good.
In this speech, he tells us what his America stands for. Democracy and equality.
Yes, great things.
Which again goes right back to the Puritans and the...
You're telling me people liked this guy? Pfft, why? I can't imagine why.
English Whigs. Those anti-monarchist factions that murdered King Charles. Cromwell
invaded Ireland.
Egalitarianism. Which again goes right back to the Puritans and the English Whigs.
The things that I skipped.
Those
Whatever,
anti-monarchist factions that murdered King Charles.
Why would I care? Anti-monarchists? Yeah, sometimes you have to kill your king. Yeah, I don't care.
Cromwell invaded Ireland and burned churches. Lincoln invaded the South and burned Atlanta. If America is a propositional nation, how much death and bloodshed is that proposition worth?
What, dude? Like, you just don't believe in like defending good values or a country. Like, you don't believe in defending values to the death. There are some things that a person simply must defend to their dying breath. Yes. I do believe that. And equality and democracy are great causes. Can we not do the copyright thing, actually?
It's about the
I'd rather not get struck.
In many ways, the Civil War was about the Industrial Revolution. You see, the North's economy relied on factories and production. It was moving rapidly towards the Gilded Age. The South, on the other hand, was agrarian. It was a land of fields.
Was it
farms,
now?
and
This is
forests.
news.
To the northern industrialists, to the millionaire factory owners,
The humble farmers of the South. Yes, very good.
the quiet
Got
forests
it?
of the South were resources to be
Ah, the
exploited.
quiet forests.
Where the
Very
Southerners
good.
saw their home, the industrialists saw a business venture.
Yes, the Southerners saw their home here, of course. The Southern farm owners saw their homes here. This was their home, guys. Think about it.
Abraham Lincoln was employed by those industrialists. Before he entered politics, he was a corporate
Yeah, it was the Shire, if you think about it. Exactly. The South was basically the Shire.
lawyer for the railroad industry. For those who don't know, the railroad industry was America's first big business. All that Gilded Age corruption, all those shady monopolies that Teddy Roosevelt broke up, all of that started with the railroads.
Yeah, it should have been, you're right. They should have been publicly owned railroad systems. You're right. They should be publicly owned and funded. Good point.
With those massive corrupt companies run by millionaire oligarchs. And Lincoln was their man. As a lawyer, he defended them in court. And as president, he passed massive tariffs that helped them form monopolies by cutting out their competition overseas.
You don't understand. Abraham Lincoln started a railroad monopoly, and that's why it's not. That's why it's actually a bad thing that he freed the slaves. Guys, no, you don't understand. You don't understand, guys. You don't get it.
These
You don't get
tariffs
it.
were blatant favoritism.
Listen to
giving
me.
an unfair
Listen.
advantage to the exporting North and screwing over the importing South. After the war, the South was
This is
left
the most ahistorical bullshit a human has ever uttered. Is any of this even true? Do I trust anything this man says? Let's take a look. Let's fact check. Let's do our due diligence as content creators. Abraham Lincoln, railroad lawyer. Okay. Abraham Lincoln is a railroad attorney. This is long. Give me a summary. Thank you. Oh my god, it looks so good. Thank you.
Bread with garlic.
Ooh, thank you.
If you want more, just make sure to leave. Probably not going to eat till after work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Here we go. Abraham Lincoln, the railroad lawyer, was born on February 12th, 1809, blah, 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 blah. In his adulthood, he worked as a lawyer in Illinois, represented several railroad companies in legal cases. Lincoln's work as a railroad lawyer helped him gain a reputation as a skilled attorney, and it also gave him a deeper understanding of the issues facing the railroad industry. Lincoln's work for the railroads also allowed him to make important contacts in the business world and in politics, which would later prove valuable to him as the 16th president of the United States. He also worked on cases involving contracts, property disputes, and other legal issues. Much like property attorneys today, Lincoln's work on these cases involved researching and analyzing legal precedents, preparing and arguing in court, and negotiating settlements. He would first become a figure in national politics when he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, blah, 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 blah. Represented his first railroad client, the Alton and Sangamon Railroad, in a dispute over pledged shares by an investor and landowner, James Barrett. Barrett was unhappy that the ANS charged the planned route of the railroad, which he believed would negatively impact the value of his land, and thus backed out of financing his share of the railroad. Lincoln and the ANS won the case, which helped secure railroad charters across the country. The railroad was an early predecessor to the Chicago and Alton Railroad, which connected Chicago with St. Louis and would set a path forward for transportation in Illinois that would later be followed close by. I mean, it sounds more like he helped the railroads flourish. Like, I don't have a problem with railroads. Like, he literally helped companies build railroads. I don't like that they're owned by the companies, but you can't deny that he had a hand in ensuring that railroad systems were set out for transportation, which ultimately I think is a win. Yeah, train pilled. Yeah, he's train pilled. And also, like, he's a fucking attorney. Like, I don't... Like, okay, let's say that he was, like, fighting for corporate greed or whatever. I'm sorry, it still doesn't matter to me. He's the guy who freed the slaves. Sorry. Like, that's just how it is.
left wide open.
It's going to be hard to
Many
argue me
Southerners
down
were
from
left
that.
homeless by the destruction of the war, and the Northerners were more than happy to buy
Oh man, you know who else was left homeless after the war? Guess who else was left homeless? I'll give you one guess.
up their land for pennies. The rural agrarian South was colonized by Northerners who hated them, who saw them as backwards and
No, they colonized the Confederacy. No, they call it... Guys, if you really think about it, okay, for like 2 seconds, the Union actually was colonizing the Confederate States. If you really think about it. It was pretty cringe, and if you're a leftist, you should be pro-Confederacy when you really think about it.
undeveloped. The South
That's
was
great.
humiliated, subdued, and occupied
It's basically...
by a foreign
The Confederacy is basically Palestine
The
when you think
subjugation
about
of
it.
the South set a precedent of imperialism, a precedent that the enlightened radicals of New England had a duty to impose their progressive way of life on the entire world. We imposed our...
Huh?
I forgot to tell you it's really hot. Be careful.
Thank you.
Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't give a shit about people imposing their progressive way of life on people who practice slavery. I think that's fine, actually, when I think about it. It doesn't take long to consider the alternative.
Our way of life on the backward South, now let's impose it on the backward Philippines, on backward Hawaii, on backward Afghanistan, on backward
Yes.
Iraq, on
Yes, the Confederacy is just like what we did to Hawaii. That's true. That's pretty true.
backward Libya. The idea of local autonomy was entirely thrown out the window. Even now, if you talk about states' rights, you get a funny look. States' rights? So you're saying you like
do what?
slavery? What's wrong
States' rights to do what? Yeah. Like slavery, yeah.
with you? The end result of this is that we no longer think of ourselves as Virginians
can't say.
or Marylanders or Pennsylvanians. We think of ourselves as Americans. Our local identities, our individual state identities, have been almost entirely replaced by our national identity.
Says who? Excuse me. You come to Ohio, there is a clear state identity here. Very clear. The people here love diarrhea chili. They have the Kings Island and they Cedar Point. There's a pretty cool railroad museum in Cincinnati. And there's a lot of farms and signs that you'll pass on the highway that say you're going to hell. And that's about it. That's Ohio. Like, I feel like every state has its own sort of identity. You know, like people from Ohio are proud to be from Ohio. Ohio State University is like enormous. Like I'm not even kidding, like literally physically enormous. Most of those things I didn't get to see. I'm sorry, Tina. But yeah, Ohio State is like literally physically enormous. It's like a city. And it has a bunch of fans like all around the country. Like state identities were not like thrown out the window.
As residents of the USA, the great land of freedom. And yeah, that national identity is kind of fun. It's fun to set off fireworks on the 4th of July. But it's kind of shallow. It's a facade. It's paper.
As opposed to what? State identity? What's the difference? It's a smaller, more localized version of national identity. It's not that special. Yeah, he hates America. True.
Paper mache. America
Why do you
is
hate
not
America?
a culture. It's an empire. It's an imagined community. My community is...
Bro, what? It's an empire? Wait, if it's such an empire... Like, wait, hold on. If it's such like an empire, then like why... Like, I don't know. I've heard of people referring to America as an empire before, but it sounded weird coming out of his mouth. You know? I don't think that's something to be proud of.
Is not America. It's not the United States. It's my hometown. Personally, I don't really feel much connection with America as a whole. My roots are with my hometown.
Okay, wait, no, he's criticizing America. Sorry, I got that wrong.
America is not a culture. It's an empire. It's an imagined community.
I see what you're saying, sorry.
My community is not America. It's not the United States. It's my hometown.
But like in some ways it is.
Personally, I don't really feel much connection with America as a whole. My roots are with my hometown, my home state, the hills where I was born and raised. This local...
But that is America. What are you talking about? That is an American experience. That is a unique American experience. And part of the American experience, it's that it's different in many different areas. Like, that's all part of America. That's what makes this country beautiful.
Patriotism is actually much older than nationalist patriotism. In Europe, all the way up to the 1900s, Europeans didn't identify as Germans or Italians or Frenchmen. They identified with their local town or their local province. There's the old story of the Alsatian shepherd who says proudly, "I am not French."
None of this matters. Like, the state identity did not go away. Like, people still have a very strong sense of state identity. Look at Texas. Forget Ohio. Look at Texas. People from Texas always talk about Texas. They can't shut up about it. Like, they identify with their ethnicity. Yeah, that's what I thought too. This is all just kind of like ahistorical. I don't think we should believe that anything that this guy's saying, to be honest.
I am Alsatian. There's the Breton priest who exclaims, "I love France. I am a Frenchman. But first of all, I am a Breton." Building nations
okay, so they did
requires
identify
a lot
him
of forgetting. Before Italy was united under one central government, the different regions of Italy couldn't even understand each other.
And this is why slavery was actually pog, right? Not defending the Confederacy, by the way. Just saying that, like, Abraham Lincoln was cringe, I guess. Yeah, I'm kind of bored of this. Abraham Lincoln was pretty good for freeing the slaves. That's what I have to say about this. It was pretty pog. Okay, I guess we have to do Matt Walsh. Actually, let me eat a little bit first. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head, cause I have no fear. This probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. Our ghosts try to approach me and got leery. Ask him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through valleys, crying pumpkin in the alley. Didn't seem happy, but they sure tried to get me. Had to back him up with a fist metal crackle. I'm hearing someone saying, "You a chicken, don't be scared." It had to be the wind, cause nobody wasn't there. I searched and I searched as I climbed up the wall. And then I started to fly, I went in deeper. Let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep. Down Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I gotta hold my head, I have no fear. It probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. A ghost try to approach me, he got leery. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here. I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head, cause I have no fear. This probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. Our ghosts try to approach me and got leery. Ask him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through valleys, crying pumpkin in the alley. Didn't seem happy, but they sure tried to get me. Had to back him up with a fist metal crackle. I'm hearing someone saying, "You a chicken, don't be scared." It had to be the wind, cause nobody wasn't there. I searched and I searched as I climbed up the wall. And then I started to fly, I went in deeper. Let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep. Down Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I gotta hold my head, I have no fear. It probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory. A ghost try to approach me, he got leery. Spooky up in here, it's crazy in here. We still gonna keep it going, I'm Knuckles. Nobody scares me. Whoever wants
Okay. Let's do this. Bum, bum, ba, 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 do. Okay. Matt Walsh. Walsh. This guy. Great opinions, as usual. But he doesn't think that this opinion of Luigi Mangione is very pog. I don't know what that opinion is yet. But if I had to guess, it is something to the effect of what Luigi did was good or justified or what have you. So I guess before we get started, my opinion of the Luigi Mangione situation, when we talk about whether or not the murder itself was justified, I think that's kind of missing the forest for the trees, because when we look at this holistically, this was inevitable, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because you've built a society in which needs are paywalled, okay? And when needs are paywalled, people are forced to work for them, right? You are being forced by your betters to work for things that keep you alive. That is literally what you're doing. You are coercing people by holding things over their head that they need to survive. And when you do that long enough and finally people get fed up with it, somebody's going to snap, okay? And I'm not ascribing any moral weight to this. I'm just saying that, like, also the other CEO, the CEO, the one who got murked, killed he's responsible for way more deaths than Luigi Mangione, ever was, okay? So I just don't give a shit about him. I don't care. That's why I say free Luigi. I don't think that what he did was, an unreasonable response to somebody who will never get in trouble for killing people. So whatever, I don't care. But let's see what Matt Walsh's opinion is, because he had such a great opinion of Luigi when that first happened that everybody loved. So let's see what he thinks.
This morning, I took a little trip down memory lane and went back to a show that I posted about 4 months ago in the wake of the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. And if you recall that show at all, then you remember the position that I took. It was a bold position, a provocative one. And my position was and still is that first-degree murder is wrong.
Okay, nobody's arguing that. They're asking... see, he did this shit. He does this slimy shit all the time. He did it when I confronted him at the college. At, I believe it was Kentucky University of Kentucky. He said, well, when I asked him, should a 13-year-old girl be forced to give birth, right? His response was, I do not believe that the killing of a child is ever acceptable. And that's not answering the question, my boy. You're not answering it. It's bad faith. If you murder Hitler, is it wrong? Yeah, exactly. What if you could get to Hitler before he was Hitler and murder him? Sometimes murder is bad, killing is not. I just think that, this particular murder case is, like I said, it is an understandable outcome of the circumstances we find ourselves in. Okay, and I don't care as much about the CEO as I do about everybody that he's had a hand in killing.
It is wrong to shoot a man in the back while he's walking down the street. We should not applaud murder. We should not defend it. We should not take the side of people who defend murder or commit it.
If he's in the process of systematically killing a ton of people by denying them health care and nobody's doing anything about it, I'm sorry, I don't care. I don't care. He kind of had it coming.
Means that just because you don't like a company where somebody works, that doesn't make it morally permissible to walk up and execute anyone on the executive team of that company. I personally don't like a lot of companies. I don't really like most companies, but I still think that you can't just kill the people who work there. That was my stated position, and I was absolutely, as you may recall, excoriated for it. And you can go back, as I just did, and read the YouTube comments.
Okay, well, let's talk about the people that the CEO killed. Let's talk about that. Oh, you don't want to talk about that because that was done within the bounds of the law, right?
Comments for that show. You could scroll for pages and not find a single comment that agrees with me. My opinion that it's not okay to commit first-degree murder
Man's
is,
rehashing his L's.
judging by the comments, maybe the most unpopular thing I've ever said in my career, which is
because you were saying it. No, you're slimy. You're a slimy piece of shit. Like, it's not that people thought that your position that murder is wrong. It's that you're not addressing the fucking point here. Like you didn't do when I asked you about the 13-year-old pregnant girl. Okay? You don't address the point. You're just like, this is my principle, and it's like you can't apply that. Okay? If murder is so wrong, talk about all the people the CEO fucking murdered.
Really, really saying something, as you know. You'll find hundreds of comments, often from self-professed conservatives, not just disagreeing with my stance against first-degree homicide, but actually angry at me for taking that stance. They declared that I'm out of touch and I'm elitist for thinking that we shouldn't just start murdering CEOs. And that's not a straw man, by the way. That's what the comments said. You can go back and read them. It's a huge number of them saying that. Now, of course, I know that most of those comments weren't really from conservatives, and most of them certainly weren't from my actual audience. But I do think that there were at least some people on the right who really did fall into the mass psychosis of defending and siding with.
I think even among Republican voters, like, it was pretty, like, this is why Fox News and everybody else shut up so fast about it. Like, you never hear about Luigi Mangione anymore, like, ever, from main news outlets. They shut the fuck up about it because they started broadcasting about it, tried to get the public to be like, look, here's this psycho murderer who, for no reason, decided to slay this humble CEO who never did anything wrong in his sweet old life. By the way, he actually used an AI system to fucking deny people necessary healthcare and killed them, like a lot of them. And it's like, yeah, that didn't really vibe well with the public. So the media just quit covering it. And you should have too. You should have just kept your big mouth shut. But now we're rehashing it, so whatever.
A murderous scumbag. And I imagine that most of those people are now embarrassed that they jumped on the pro-murder bandwagon and would probably rather pretend that it never happened. But I think we need to revisit this whole episode so that we can figure out what sort of lessons we should learn from it. And what brings all this back to mind is an interview that a CNN correspondent named Donnie O'Sullivan did with the demented shrew named Taylor Lorenz. Lorenz, who pretends to be a journalist, was one of Mangione's most unabashedly outspoken cheerleaders. At the time, she fawned all over him, justified his murderous acts. She even said, as you may remember, she said that she felt joy after hearing that Brian Thompson...
She sounds more fun than you.
Was a father, by the way, and had never been convicted of any crimes, was murdered. She felt joy about it.
Okay, he did crimes legal, not crimes, I guess, because they were legal, but he literally killed people in a legal fashion. Okay? Like, he did legal killing through the healthcare system to make money. That is what he did.
And in this interview, which was just posted yesterday, she doubles down and goes even further. And I want you to watch this clip. And if you were one of the self-professed conservatives taking her side on this issue, I want you to watch even closer and ask yourself if this is really the kind of ally that you want. Here you go.
I'm not a conservative.
Hilarious to see these millionaire media pundits on TV clutching their pearls about someone standing a murderer when this is the United States of America. As if we don't lionize criminals. As if we don't have, we don't stand murderers of all sorts, and we give them Netflix shows. There's a huge disconnect between the narratives and the angles that sort of mainstream media pushes and what the American public feels. And you see that in moments like this. And I can tell you, I saw the biggest audience growth that I've ever seen because people were like...
Everything she said so far is straight facts.
Like, oh, some journalist is actually speaking to the anger that we feel.
The women who gather outside court in New York.
So you're going to see women especially that feel like, oh my God, right? Like, here's this man who's revolutionary, who's famous, who's handsome, who's young, who's smart. He's a person that seems this morally good man, which is hard to find.
Yeah, I just realized women will literally date an assassin before they swipe right on me. That's where we are.
So to review, Nurse Ratched here brags that she experienced the biggest audience growth she's ever seen when she started fawning over Luigi.
What did he call her? Hold on. Nurse Ratchet?
Is that she experienced the biggest audience growth she's ever seen when she started fawning over Luigi Mangione. Then she starts gushing over the murderer, describing him as famous, young.
I'm sorry, but like revolutionary action's kind of hot, you know? Like yeah, like he knew what he wanted and he succeeded, you know? Like you know, if it were a fictional story, that'd be kind of hot. People like imagine Luigi Mangione as a fictional character, then maybe it will make sense.
Young, handsome, smart, and most insanely, a morally good man. The CNN correspondent, of course, listens to all this with a smile on his face, then starts giggling, and the whole scene is comic.
I think you could definitely argue, I guess the one thing that I'm willing to cede on this is, like, the act of killing somebody is pretty raw. So, like if I mean, I don't know, like, if you're willing to do that to another person, I just don't know that I could, like, except maybe in self-defense, but... Like, you know, I don't know. Like, I can't speak to how he is as a moral character, but like, I don't find him as morally reprehensible as I do the CEO. You know, so I don't care.
Comically evil. I mean, Taylor Lorenz has always been a cartoon. Now she's playing the role of a cartoon villain. She's like Cruella de Vil, if Cruella de Vil was a frumpy hypochondriac. And I must say again...
Yeah. I definitely don't like living in a world where people think the only chance for political change is from the end of a barrel of a gun. But that's just kind of the way the world works. Exactly. Like, I'm in the same boat. Like, I don't want this to be the reality, but it is the reality. And so I prefer this over nothing being done. Sorry.
If you're a conservative who found yourself on the same side as this psychotic demon, I mean, you really screwed up.
Unlike me, Matt Walsh, who famously does not ask his children for consent, who famously wants 13-year-olds to give birth against their will. Like, yeah, me, Matt, the most morally upstanding individual, Matt Walsh.
You should not be on Taylor Lorenz's side on any topic, especially not when she's explicitly advocating for first-degree murder. Tax season is officially here, and the IRS is turning at the And since we're on the subject, and now that perhaps the initial hysteria that led so many people in Taylor Lorenz's camp, led so many people to be in Taylor Lorenz's camp, has worn off a bit, I thought it'd be useful to go back and review the two major reasons why we should never applaud a guy who walks up to another guy in the dark and shoots him in the back. Okay,
but like, it depends on who he's shooting, man. You have to admit that at least. Like, again, like somebody said in the chat, what if you shot Hitler? Like, what if that was Hitler? I think that'd be fine. Yeah. Like, yeah, do it in the dark while he's not looking. Who cares? It's Hitler. Like, I'm not saying the CEO was literally Hitler. I'm just saying, like, it depends on who the person is. That's the only point I'm making.
These are the two major reasons, beyond the number one fundamental reason, which is that murder is a grave sin. It breaks...
Oh, yeah, he wants to get teens pregnant. True. He wants 16-year-olds to marry, like, older men so that they can be tools for impregnation and gestation.
Not only the laws of man, but also the laws of God. It violates a code.
Didn't this guy parade George Floyd's death? Oh, I'm sure he did. Yeah, of course. He it was Derek Chauvin, right? The guy who got in trouble for that. Yeah, he, like, regularly advocates for, like, Derek Chauvin, his release. Yeah.
Written in the Bible, in the Ten Commandments, and written into the heart of every man. Even if you never read the Ten Commandments, which rather clearly forbids this kind of activity, you would still know that it's wrong to execute an unarmed man in the street. That's natural law. Okay, so that's all the reason you should need to know that this is not okay.
There's a concept known as justified killing, most commonly in self-defense. Granted, this was not a self-defense case, but he was, like, a significant threat to a lot of people. Okay? And the sad reality is, somebody's just going to step in and take his place. This isn't changing the system, okay? But it did shake the system a little bit. It let the people who are turning the gears know that, like, hey, we're not happy with you, right? Like, the whole situation, like, was a huge... like demonstration that Americans are fed up with this shit, you know, that we want change, like real changes to our healthcare, and to be able to lead better lives. And CEOs are keeping us from doing that. You know, it's their fucking greed and disgust that drives this.
But there are two other points worth making, and the first is, as I tried to explain at the time, it's that the major voices cheering on or excusing the murder of Brian Thompson will not stop and have not stopped with Brian Thompson. Okay. If you're a conservative, you should understand that the Taylor Lorenzes of the world think that you deserve to be executed.
No. They're not all No, your audience is not entirely comprised of healthcare CEOs, Matt Walsh, okay? Like, it's different. It's different. Plenty of conservative voters have also not engaged in a systematic killing of people who are just trying to get healthcare. So no, I don't believe we can just send them to re-education camps. That's all. That's
just all. As much as Brian Thompson does. You are standing beside and finding common cause with a person who would feel just as joyful if you were shot dead on the sidewalk. And that fact should matter to you. You are shouting amen to an argument that can be and will be and has been used to justify violence against you and your loved ones.
He's actually doing pretty effective rhetoric here, I'm not going to lie. Like this, I can completely understand why a dumbass conservative would slop this up. You know what I mean? Like he's employing the "they'll come for you next" tactic, which is very effective on both sides, to be honest. And I think that this will because he's attaching this CEO to conservatives, he's like very slyly nudging that into his rhetoric. And trying to get he's reminding people, no, you're temporarily embarrassed millionaires. Don't forget. Don't forget. You're only a few good years away from being this guy, from being in this guy's position. Think about it. This could be you one day. Then they'll be after your ass. He's reminding them.
What does Taylor Lorenz mean when she says that Luigi Mangione is a morally good man? I mean, from my vantage point, he's a spoiled trust fund baby and murderous coward who snuck up behind an unarmed man under the cover of darkness, shot him in the back, and then tried to run away and escape accountability.
I mean, he was pretty fucking effective. We can't argue about that. His methods were clean, okay? Frankly, a lot of people think that Luigi isn't even the guy. Because a lot of people think that they just needed somebody quickly, so they just fucking got Luigi. Now, I don't know what the evidence against him is. I think he still has to go to trial, but yeah, I believe that. So our killer could actually still be out there. There's a lot of questions as to how that happened at the fucking McDonald's of all places.
What part of that is morally good? Well, when Taylor says it, she means simply that Mangione did something that, in Taylor's mind, advanced her own political interests. This is how it works for moral relativists. Whatever advances their interests is morally good, by definition.
That's because everything that I believe is morally good. Yeah. I mean, yeah. The thing is, you don't see politics as having a moral impetus. You may not see that, or at least you pretend like you don't see that. And if you don't see that, then your moral compass is broken, my friend, which is not a surprise, Matt Walsh, that your moral compass would be broken, but I'm just pointing that out. Yeah, I think that things that advance my political agenda of wanting good things for people is good, yes.
So if killing a father and husband in cold blood advances her interest, then it's morally good. Well, again, you should keep in mind that if you are a conservative, then Taylor Lorenz also thinks that your death advances her interests.
What he should have done is he should have kept the CEO alive and injured him in some horrific fashion, and then said, "Sorry, I can't give you health care. You can't cover your premiums. So yeah, sorry, buddy. That's rough, man. That's pretty rough, buddy.
Whoever shoots you in the head is also morally good."
Yeah, we denied your claim.
And, you might say that I'm biased here because making this personal for a moment, I can say that approximately 100% of the leftists who cheered Thompson's murder would also cheer probably even louder, if I was murdered. I mean, there are a lot of leftists out there waiting eagerly for the day when I drop dead. I know that because they tell me all the time. And why do they want me dead? I mean, I'm not a healthcare CEO. I've never denied anyone.
Why? What would possibly want people to want Matt Walsh dead of all people? The mystery's out. You know, the question's out on why people would want Matt Walsh to die. Nobody can answer this mystery.
Coverage. I've never heard anyone, but they want me dead.
Never
because
heard
I'm
anybody.
an outspoken conservative, and they've determined that it would advance their interests if somebody got rid of me.
Certainly never advocated for the eradication of like an entire minority group, you know, like never did that. Don't ruin the lives of children everywhere because their fucking parents watch my slop and then hate their children as a result. You know, like never anything like that. No. I'm morally perfect. Me, Matt Walsh. Never advocated for 16-year-old wives to be impregnated because they can handle it. Like I'm Matt Walsh, by the way. Like, I'm not the guy who thinks that my children don't deserve consent from me, their father, Matt Walsh. I'm not that guy, you know? Like,
so, am I going to find common cause with the people who are actively and vocally wishing for my demise? Am I going to legitimize an argument that these people would directly use to justify my own murder? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that because...
In fairness, I don't even think that, like, what Matt Walsh... Okay, so we're comparing apples to oranges here. The things that Matt Walsh does and says lead to a lot of unnecessary suffering and death as well, right? Like, I can easily make that argument. Like, let's just even talk about the bomb threat that was sent into Boston Children's Hospital as a result of not just Matt Walsh, but primarily libs of TikTok, right? Like, that's actually putting people in danger. That is causing people to panic needlessly. That is going to impact people's health care, and it could hurt them, okay? Yeah, like, you guys do a lot of shit. And people, I don't know about Matt Walsh specifically, but I know that people on the right have actually been named in, like, manifestos, like when people go on like mass shooting sprees. Like, yeah, their rhetoric and their ideas lead to bad things happening and sometimes even people dying. So yeah, I just like, you know, if somebody were to take out Matt Walsh, yeah, I just wouldn't care that much.
Because I'm not suicidally insane. The second point, related very much to the first, is that as conservatives, one of the most basic things that we're trying to conserve and
I don't endorse dying
is civilization. Leftism is an anti-civilizational force. Leftism despises civilization and wants to destroy it. We're supposed to be the ones defending and conserving civilization. If we will not conserve civilization, then there's no point to anything. There's no point to any of this if we will not, at the most basic level, conserve and defend civilization.
Okay, if you want to conserve and defend civilization, let's start by talking about capitalism and the horrendous damage it's done to civilization. Okay? Like, look at Texas. Look at their fucking infrastructure. Have you ever heard of spaghetti roads? Like, it's insane. Okay? Like, the infrastructure there is terrible. Where was I going with this? Like, when that winter thing happened, that winter storm a few years ago, and fucking Ted Cruz, like, fled for wherever. They didn't have the infrastructure to, like, take care of everybody. You know, and that's a result of, like, lower taxation on corporations and corporate takeover. They don't have publicly funded roads, I don't think. Like, they literally... I forget exactly how their highway system works, but it's really weird, and that's why their highways look the way they do. My point in all this is, if you want to talk about, like, the real civilization ending shit, let's, like, global warming, you know, climate change, right? Also, also being proliferated by largely corporations. Yeah, you don't actually care about defending civilization. You care about defending your own pocketbook.
And one of the very first things you need, I mean, if you're forming a civilization from scratch, one of the very first things you need is law. Okay, law. That's the starting point for civilization. And the most
I would say you need morality before law. Like, we need to talk about, like, what things we should make law, you know? Like, moral standards we all abide by. We need new law? Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, we need to reform the law. For sure.
Basic law of all laws is the law that forbids you from walking up to someone you don't like on the street and executing them.
But, like, why didn't Luigi like him, though? Let's talk about it, right? I mean, we've talked about it ad nauseum already, but I'm just saying, Matt.
So, I'm opposed to the murder of Brian Thompson.
Maybe there's a good reason.
Because I am a fan of civilization. I prefer civilization over the alternative, which is degradation, depravity, and chaos.
The virgin civilization fan versus the Chad anarchy enjoyer.
In a civilized society, men who shoot other men in the back are treated as cowardly, murdering scum, which is what they are. We don't lionize them. We don't justify their actions. We certainly don't fawn over them like groupies. That is if we want to be civilized people, which I do.
I'm sorry, Luigi's kind of hot,
because
man.
the other option is to be morally debased savages. And
unlike me, Matt Walsh, who's totally morally there. Yes, me, Matt Walsh, a morally upstanding citizen.
That is really what our culture war comes down to. It is civilization.
Not a disgusting savage.
Versus savagery. Those are the choices.
It's socialism or it's barbarism, okay? That's what it comes down to. Always has and always will. It is fucking socialism or it is fucking barbarism. Take your pick.
Okay, we could call it right versus left. No, it's civilization versus savagery. I know which side I'm on. It's really not a difficult choice. And that is why Taylor Lorenz and everyone who took...
You know what's savage? Holding healthcare hostage behind a paywall. That's pretty savage, man. I know you don't consider it as such, but that literally fucking kills people. Okay? Using fucking AI programs to, like, deny people's claims for health insurance. You know, oh, look at me. I'm the healthcare CEO. Click, click, click. Let's make sure that some people die so I can make a few more buccarinos this month. That's me, by the way. Yeah, he got murked. I don't fucking care.
Took her side, or all today, canceled. Hey, YouTube, thanks for listening.
Yeah, that's the morally upstanding individual known as Marsh Walsh. Wet mulch. Good stuff. Free Luigi. We live in a society, we do, where Jeffrey Dahmer got daily fan mail in prison. Yep. Like the fucking Boston bomber had cheerleaders, okay? Like, there's no helping some of these people. And they were bad. Like, those people did bad things, like actually bad things. You can argue that, like, Luigi Mangione, is it a murder? Is it not? Like, was it really necessary? Like, whatever. Did it change anything? I don't know. And frankly, I don't give a fucking shit, okay? Because at the end of the day, a bad person is no longer with us, and I just don't care that much. You know, so we can argue as to the morality of what he did, but like, he was not Jeffrey Dahmer or the Boston bomber, and he's hot like those two were. Okay, so like, yeah, it's fine if you want to simp over him. That's fine, understandable even. AI isn't really AI. They just call it that to make it seem like society is still progressing when we've been stagnant for at least a decade. Modern AI is just advanced automated programming. We really kind of have been, like, technologically stagnant, haven't we? It's weird. It's like we're kind of in a technological stasis right now. As compared, at least, to, like, the last century or so. I just feel like so far it's just kind of like for the past like 5 or so years it's kind of been the same thing, huh? Whereas like before, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it does feel like things have kind of stagnated. How would we destroy capitalism through legislation? I mean, I'd like to think we could, but like, I'm not a prophet. I don't know by what means communism will finally rear its ugly head, but like, I would like to think that there's a world in which we could just peacefully take things from rich people and they won't put up a too much of a physical fight. You know, like we literally tell them like, okay, listen, like we have America's military at our disposal. We are fully willing to use it against you and put you in prison for the rest of your fucking life, or just give us your money. Just give us your money and you can go. You know, like they capitalists rely on the state. But if the state one day just decides that they're not on the side of capital anymore, they could end things very quickly. If we could, how would we? What laws would be passed? You would need to put somebody, you would literally need to find, so the way that I envision it is you grassroots, like several campaigns, right? This will take like decades, if not like a century or more. But you grassroots several campaigns, you slowly build up power and have people in power who like believe in good causes rather than like to the extent that they won't be bought, you know, and then those people eventually just become the leaders. And then those leaders pass laws against corporations and greed. They, you know, in theory, this is possible. I'm not saying that this is how it will go. It's certainly not going that direction at the moment. But, you know, it's not completely improbable. Is AOC anti-capitalism? I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. She would never say that. I don't know what she has in her head. If I had to guess, she definitely has critiques against capitalism, but she would never ever say that she's anti-capitalist for one reason and one reason only, and that is because she's a politician in a very pro-capitalist country. Her career would die overnight. So no, she would not say that. Although anymore, I really don't know if her career would die overnight. She might actually get like a lot of good stuff for that. Who knows? I certainly would support her. I would love it if she said that, but I don't know that it would be. I just don't know. How do we normalize anti-capitalism? You have to start slow. You have to talk to people about like free healthcare. You know, most people agree that healthcare should be free from what I've seen. Like people agree that like, or at least cheaper, right? Like at least reasonably attainable. Most people agree that our healthcare system sucks and it needs to be fixed. Start there. That's a great starting point. Another great starting point, you know, like you can talk to people about like their jobs when they bring up the job to you, like they're bitching about their boss and just be like, yeah, you know, it kind of sucks, doesn't it? Like I wish, you know, I just feel like I don't get paid enough personally. Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, exactly. Like I got to put up with so much bullshit and I don't even get paid very good. And it's like, yeah, just like, and then you can be like, oh, or like, are you part of a union? You know, like that might be a little fast, but like, that's not an abnormal question to ask. And if he says like, no, I don't believe in unions. Unions, there's too much overhead and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then you can be like, well, yeah, you know, I hear you. But like they do have dues, but those dues are important because they like you can even say like, I'm part of a union if you are and be like, well, you know, this is why I'm part of the union. This is what the union protects me from. And this is how it helps me, you know, not be abused by my bosses. You know, like there are a lot of starting points, but basically you just have to like do it slowly. I really like social democracy, like the Nordic model we got here. It seems to be the least bad mix of state and markets. We still need to tax the rich much more. Yeah, so the problem with like social democracy is that it's still capitalism, right? And capitalism will always lead to a further and further concentration of wealth and power. Always. Because that is the nature of a business, is to constantly expand. Like you win the competition when you have a monopoly on everything. That's the free market. That's the competition. And that's when you win, is when you own everything. That's capitalism. So like, as long as you have capitalism, you'll always have like the global South with slaves. You'll have people working. You'll still have people working for bosses that don't pay them enough. Like, it will always revert back to this point. Yeah, the problem with social democracy is that it still relies on exploitation. Yeah, so like, you can't have Denmark without the Congo. Let's just put it that way. Okay, do I really want to do this one? It just seems like it'll be so annoying. I'll try it. I'll try it. Okay, I don't really want to watch this right now, but somebody suggested it, so I'm going to try. If you would like to suggest content for me to watch, you can do so on my Discord server, which you can join by clicking the scanning the QR code on the screen that Dubsy likes to put there, or clicking the link in the description below. Come join us. It's a great community. Leave your suggestions for me to watch. This is R Slur Finder. Found some Tesla takedown San Diego 32925. So this guy's going to harass some protesters and scan them with what he calls the R Slur Finder. Let's take a look.
Hey asshole, what the fuck do you think you're doing?
Oh, this is going on.
Fuck you. Go fuck yourself. Go hide in your hole.
I think he's triggered.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, triggered. Yeah, this guy loves Elon. 32925, San Diego Tesla takedown human wildlife viewing / trolling experiment. What are you, fucking 12? Literal, like, 12 to 13-year-old 4chaner. We do a little trolling. We're trolling. They can't even see what it says, so they're just like, what is this? What are you doing? Epic ownage! The ownage is happening. She will welcome me by throwing water on me shortly. I might too, you're being fucking annoying. I can't watch this for very long. I'm just telling you. The left needs to start doing stochastic terrorism. I do not condone stochastic terrorism. Please, make it stop. How did he upload this thinking like people would want to watch it? There you go.
I've never had readings this high.
Look at me. She throws water on me, but I accidentally hit pause button, losing some of the interaction. No! No!
You can't touch people.
Lost footage.
This is the lady that threw water on me.
Dude, you're getting up in their fucking space.
I know about you. Good.
I don't give a shit that you got a little wet because you're being fucking annoying, man. I don't care.
People are gonna know about you. Be proud.
Yeah, I trolled protesters by making an unwatchable video about them, exactly. It's so annoying.
People are gonna know about you.
Tesla was cool before Elon was cruel. No, it was still a company. Fuck it. See, this is how you know. You know, I know I hate liberals so much, but yeah, I mean, she's out there doing the work. What am I doing? So, fuck me, I guess.
The thing is we can't assault people. You can't throw water on them. Keep your distance.
You're not keeping your distance, man. You're like right on them.
Okay. Let's treat each other.
Keep your distance. Shut the fuck up, pussy.
Respect. Let's not throw water on each other.
Be respectful. Be respectful. Well, I called you the R-slur. Be respectful.
Peaceful protest. We can do this peacefully.
I can hear that.
Peaceful.
I might actually slug him. Like, I might actually, like, I'd be like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. Get out of my fucking face. I will break your device. I will break it. Like, listen, I'm not condoning violence, but, you know, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed.
Protest. You don't have to throw water on people.
God, go away, you fucking loser. Look at me, I like Elon. Elon's cool. Doge, right? Doge. Oh, epic poggers, Doge. Elon's so poggers. God, I gotta stop. I know this was short, but like, here, what's the most viewed segment of this? We got a bump here. We'll look at the bumps.
Keep your distance.
Keep your distance.
You're already through water.
That would be a good sound clip.
Your distance. Keep your distance.
Keep your distance.
You already threw water on me. You already pushed me.
Keep your distance. Keep your distance. This is Matt Novak with Gizmodo. He will follow me throughout, and you will hear him ask my name over and over. He will later try to intimidate me by letting me know he has identified me.
These are the highest readings we've ever had.
Fuck the cops. Fuck the cops. Fuck the cops. Fuck the cops. Fuck the cops.
They already threw water.
A-cab.
I just want this guy to not touch me. No, I don't.
Then shut the fuck up.
Yeah, of course. This gentleman right here. This gentleman right here is the one escalating. I'm walking away. He's following me.
The police are literally like, yeah, you're allowed to be as annoying as you fucking want, and he's still bitching about it. Shut the fuck up. They just told you can do your stupid R-slur thing. Shut up.
He's following me.
True.
Yeah, and if you come up in my space, I'll push you too.
You're going in people's spaces right now.
I'm de-escalating. I'm asking
I
you
love
to
her.
just keep space, that's all. Just keep space. That's all I'm asking.
Go back to wherever you fucking came from.
Ha! True. Go back to mommy's basement. Go back to mommy's basement. Maybe she made you some nuggies, okay? Go back to, you know, where you're not here. Okay, I have to do the next bump and then I gotta be done. This noise is driving me insane. Matt Novak / Gizmodo. Handsome fellow. Super creepy. After asking my name 6 or so times and following me around, he used face recognition to learn my name so he could tell me that I look different without a beard, and when I told him I'm not cancelable, he said, I know, I read your profile. I have nothing to hide, which is why I didn't wear a face mask. I'm so cool, I got nothing to hide, brother. Yeah, you should, like, be ashamed of yourself, so...
No, I'm just... No, you're coming up behind me really, really close.
Would you
You are getting close to people! Shut the fuck up!
rather I be in front of you?
Okay.
Skip the video. Yeah, we got past the bump. Yeah, this was unbearable. Like, actually just an eyesore and an ear sore. Why would you, like, upload this thinking that people would want to listen to that stupid fucking beep? Like, are you stupid? And also, like, why do you support Elon Musk or Tesla right now? I don't understand. Do you just like bad things? Do you enjoy bad things happening and billionaire oligarchs, like, ruling your life? Is that what you like? I mean, weird flex, man. Very weird flex. Okay, well, that covers the title stuff. Coconut Mall can always cheer me up after a horrific segment. Trying to decide, do I want to do the No, I'm not feeling Michael Knowles. I kind of want to do the Andy Pants thing from Assassin's Creed Shadows. He's mad that Assassin's Creed Shadows has gay stuff. I've heard that it's a little gay. Who cooked so hard in Sonic Adventure 2? I must say, it's very good. Many people are saying that the Sonic Adventure 2 soundtrack is in fact very good. I'm indifferent if violence is used against fascists, but I don't want people to go to jail. I do not condone violence, KC. Never have and never will. I do not condone violence. On the Alec Gunter channel does not condone violence of any kind, or what have you. Of course not. I just believe that Luigi Mangione happens to be innocent, and he hasn't been tried or convicted yet. So you know what? I'm allowed to believe that. Luigi Mangione did nothing wrong. Free Luigi. I find it so funny, by the way, that, like, there's a legitimate problem with them finding a jury that will not be biased against, that will not be biased in favor of Luigi. Very, very funny. And you know what? Good for him. Because, like, if you don't want a populace that will be naturally inclined to let Luigi Mangione off the hook, maybe you shouldn't have structured society that way, dipshit. That was inevitable. Sorry, I don't care. No more Fed posting. We do not condone violence. Ooh, maybe I should do a quick segment on that fencing thing. You guys know the trans fencing thing? Female fencer receives award for courage after refusing to compete against trans opponent. I think I could make a pretty good segment on this right now. Actually. Isn't Fed posting threats? It's basically what it means is it's somebody from the feds trying to get you in trouble. either by condoning ideas of killing politicians or the like. Like oh my God, what are these ads, Daily Mail? Jesus, no, I can't do this. All it really takes is for somebody to chat it, and if you don't respond to it, you're basically like, you could make a solid case that you're endorsing it. So, we just gotta be careful. My bad, I meant violence is never the answer. True. Let me see if I can find this.
Staten Island.
I think this works. Trans women in sports. It's the story of the century. Everybody's talking about how unfair it is that trans women want to be able to participate in sports ball with their fellow women. Okay? Very not fair because they were raised male or had male puberty, whatever. Even though the studies show, by the way, that there's really not that much of a difference between trans women and cis women after they've been on hormone therapy for like 2 years. Between like a year and 2 years. So there's really not, it's like a negligible difference at best. So, with all this being said, the conservatives are doing their best because they hate trans people very much to use this as a wedge issue to make the vast majority of America hate trans people. Now, when asked as an individual question, most Americans, I think about 80%, will say that they do not think that trans women should be allowed to compete in women's sports. That's unfortunate. It is propaganda pushed by the right, but that's where we're at. You know, in the 1950s, 94% of Americans also thought that mixed-race marriages should be illegal. So just because something's popular doesn't mean it's right, all right? Trans women are women, and if women's sports can't accommodate trans women, then women's sports should simply not exist. Anyway, all this brings us to this Fox News story of a female fencer who got black-carded for taking a knee against a trans opponent. I read up on this story a little bit ago. There have been a few updates since it first dropped, so I just wanted to go over it real quick and dispel some myths about what's going on.
Staten Island, New York, Wagner College, a female fencer standing her ground by taking a knee and refusing to compete against a biological male. A video from over the weekend shows this.
A trans woman.
But Stephanie Turner, in your view of the camera here, forfeiting a match, taking off her helmet, taking a knee against a transgender athlete. Referees gave Turner a black card, which immediately disqualifies her from the entire competition. She's done. Riley Gaines from Outkick, host of Gaines for Girls podcast and trans.
Not Riley Gaines, no, not the fifth place extraordinaire Riley Gaines. Not if only I had fifth place to myself, then society would have reached the heavens by now. Riley Gaines. No.
On Fox Nation. Here you go. Stephanie Turner.
Not I love women's rights when it comes to excluding trans women, but I hate women's rights when it comes to abortion. Riley Gaines, not her.
Give us a quote. Fox Digital said this: Redmond was under the impression that I was going to start fencing. Redmond, by the way, is Redmond Sullivan, the trans athlete. So when I took the knee, I looked at the ref and I said, I'm sorry, I cannot do this. I am a woman and this is a man and this is a woman's tournament and I will not fence this individual. End
Stunning
quote.
and brave.
After that, shown to the panel of judges and left the room. What do you think, Riley?
Isn't it amazing how simply this can be explained? The other side likes to say this is complex. It's a complex issue. Stephanie Turner, number one, she's a heroine in my eyes. She said it so simply. I cannot do this.
Hero. She's a hero.
I am a woman. This is a man. This is a woman's tournament. I will not fence
so
this
powerful.
Individual. Keep in mind, this was at a junior women's Olympic qualifying events. So
I don't
it's
care
a really
where it
big
was.
deal. These aren't scrubs. Again, these are like, it's the pinnacle of their sport at this
I
point.
don't fucking care.
So I commend her for taking this measure. It's not easy to do. Ultimately deciding to boycott, which is what I've done.
Oh God, look at her like trying to explain to this fucking trans woman that like I can't fence you because you're trans. And this trans woman is just like giving her the weird like what? Like that's weird. Like what? Like it's insane.
It with emphasis on the word boy here, but it's the most effective way to say enough is enough. I won't even allow you. I won't give you the chance to discriminate against me on the basis of my sex. And as you said, Bill, this male athlete competes at Wagner College. The NCAA has continued to deceive the American people, and they've deceived President Trump in this. We saw this week as well, where Ithaca College allowed a male rower to compete on a women's team in a women's boat. They are repeatedly
Who cares? Who cares? I just let trans women compete with other women, man. Like who gives a shit? And if you want to talk about rowing, actually, hold on. Here we go. So, this is the Wikipedia for the history of women's rowing. Despite its male domination, women's competitive rowing can be traced back to the early 19th century, and an image of a women's double scull race made the cover of Harper's Weekly in 1870. Wellesley College in Massachusetts was the first school to organize a competitive rowing team for women in the late 19th century. The 19th century English rower Anne Glanville achieved national celebrity, becoming known as the champion female rower of the world. Her all-women crew often winning against the best male teams. Interesting. So there is precedence for women being able to beat men in rowing. Just throwing that out there. Not that, you know, a trans woman rower is a man rower, especially if she's like, if she's been on HRT, who cares? It levels out. Like, who cares?
NCAA is repeatedly rewarding the replacement of women in order to champion men in women's sports, which is exactly why myself and about 19 other...
I should also point out, like, the history of women's sports has never been about excluding men. It's about making sure women can actually play and compete in sports and shit. Because the history of sports is very male-dominated, unfortunately, especially in the 18 and 1900s. Okay? Like, it's been very male-dominated. So, like... We thought that, like, women, like, their uterus would burst if they played sports. Like, they wouldn't be able to produce spawn for us. And so we kept them from being allowed to do it. And so women were like, okay, you won't let us play. We'll start our own leagues. And then they did. It was never about excluding men. They just weren't allowed. Men said, you are not allowed. You're not allowed. So they started their own leagues. But it's never been about, like, that was never the goal that they set out, to exclude men from them.
Other plaintiffs are suing the NCAA.
Okay, all right. So, listen, fencing doesn't get a lot of attention.
But second of all, trans women are not men, so who gives a shit?
It does when this happens. And she made the decision the night before when she knew that she was in that particular bracket. Here's the fencing statement from the USA organization. USA Fencing enacted our current transgender non-binary athlete policy in 2023. The policy was designed to expand access to the sport of fencing and create inclusive, safe spaces. Did that statement say...
Also, fencing is co-ed, like, all the time. All the time. There's really not a problem with it.
Anything about women, young ladies?
No, of course not. When they use the word inclusion, what they really mean here is
Next, they'll kick trans people out of chess. They're already doing it. They're, like, kicking trans people. Like, they're getting mad at, like, a couple of trans people who won a pool tournament. You know, like billiards, pool, like fucking hitting hitting balls into holes with sticks. Like, they got mad at trans people for that. Darts. They got mad at trans people for being better darts. They literally, like, this entire narrative is structured around women are, like, inferior in every way. In every way. Intelligence, strength, durability, endurance. Like, you're just worse physically and mentally in every possible way. It's literally like dehumanizing. That's the logic. It is dehumanizing logic.
Exclusion. And the people that they are excluding are women from the women's category, which is exactly what Title IX, and it's why the women's sport, I mean, pretty broadly, it's why women's sports were created, to uphold and honor these opportunities for women to succeed, to achieve, to compete. And so when they use this word inclusion, what they really mean is exclusion, Bill.
Well, there's a California
you have not studied women's sports history.
In California. And I don't know where
women's sports were not started to keep men out. They were started because men kept them out. They said, let us compete with you. The men said no. That's why women's sports that's why we have the separation of sports. If the men had just let the women play, we would probably have mixed sports all around right now.
It's going to end up. But they're clearly on the side of going forward with this plan, at least at the state level. Riley, thanks for coming on. And maybe we'll get in touch with Stephanie and hear her out.
Okay, so basically where we're going with this is this person is so brave and beautiful for not wanting to fence against a trans person, right? A trans woman. So, excuse me. On Twitter, Eli Ehrlich posted about this. Fencing is typically a co-ed sport. This is trans misogyny in its grossest form. Also posted, this story gets so much worse. The trans woman who she refused to fence only finished in 24th place. Stephanie, the forfeiter, also beat multiple cis men in a regional match just 1 week earlier. Conservatives paid her $5,000 for this kneel. Yeah, they gave her a non-participation award of $5,000. Literally, they gave her fucking a heroes award and gave her $5,000. Like, how is this not like raising red flags all over the place? Like, she literally fenced against men previously, like cis men, and it wasn't a problem. She beat several of them. So this is just a grift. So spare me with this bullshit of like trans women are like the biggest problem for feminists right now. No, the fuck they're not. You know what is a big problem? Abortion rights. Okay? There are women dying in Texas right now because they can't have a safe and healthy access to abortion. Okay, I think that's a little bit more pressing than like the 6.5 trans women competing in the NCAA. I'm just throwing that out there. So when you hear about like trans women competing in sports, whatever your opinion on it is, just understand the conservatives are using it as a wedge issue to make you hate trans women and trans people in general. And it really does not go much deeper than that. Good stuff. Okay, I'm going to take a brief break, and then we'll come back, and I'll decide what to do then. Oh yeah, banned from Miss America pageants, which is crazy. Because it's like, oh, are you saying that like trans women are too beautiful to be in like they're too good for pageants? Insane stuff. Okay, be right back.
Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day. Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day. Rap about a man named Alec Hunter, tricking this girl and I straight up Alec stumped her. Holding crossbow like he's literally Alec Hunter. Passing a football, call this dude Alec Hunter. When he's doing bad, he is trashed like Alec Dumpster. Wife is literally cheating, so Alec go confront her. Thinking about stuff he's doing and Alec wonder. Shooting lightning from his fingers like he's Alec Thunder. Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day. Alec Hunter is here to stay. Alec Hunter knows the way. Alec Hunter, king of crochet. Alec Hunter will make your day.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry I took a minute. I was arguing with my wife about our child's name. She's not a fan of the name Fortnite Victory Royale. Like first name Fortnite, middle name Victory Royale. Personally, I think it rolls off the tongue nicely. Name her 90210. Divorce time. I mean, it's better than Elon Musk. Okay. breaking news, everyone. 3 of the 4 romances in Assassin's Creed Shadows are gay. And this is, I guess, a bad thing. Let's take a look.
Ubisoft hates you. There are 3 gay relationships in this game and only 1 straight relationship.
By Lord Nobunaga.
That's crazy.
He would have been pleased for you to have it. Am I worthy of such a treasure? Allow me to look into your eyes and see into your heart.
Okay.
Bro, what is this doing in an Assassin's Creed game, dude? Here is your based masculine Assassin's Creed game, dude. 2 men staring deeply into each other's eyes right before they have butt sex.
But like a guy and a girl could do that too. So, I don't get it.
Bro, I can't believe they thought this was like good to put in the game.
You are more than worthy. This moment we have shared will be my treasure to keep.
Yuck. Disgusting, degenerate. Black Flag had you as Edward Kenway, just being a salty, badass pirate, and every woman was obsessed with you. AC2 had you as Ezio, just a total player, romancing all the women and being a badass. AC Shadows has you a gay black man staring into some dude's eyes. Like, what, bro? What is happening?
But like, he still does cool stuff. Like, I've seen bits of the game. He still does cool stuff. He just happens to be gay and black. And that's fine.
Hate video games now, dude. Like, I can't stand this shit. Y'all, this is why I exclusively play...
Also interesting that this is about being, like, you know, gay. Being gay is bad, whatever. But, like, you're also sneaking in the fact that he's a gay black man. Like, that was important, right? Just letting you know.
20-year-old video games, because I can't stand this stuff. I actually hope Jesus comes back right now so he can burn all this junk to the ground. Let's look.
When Jesus comes back, you'll be one of the ones tying into the new cross, brother.
Get gay relationship number 2 and make fun of it.
I must say, it is lovely.
This is a dude on the right, by the way. Maybe he's a tranny.
When Jesus comes back, you'll want to deport him, dude. So fuck you.
Maybe he's trans or something. I don't care, but it's a dude. So there's gonna be some fudge packing happening.
Rustic sort of charm, but
But you have complaints already?
complaint is a terrible harsh word. My keen and sophisticated eyes have spotted room for improvement, is all.
And you can say back, you have lovely eyes. God, this game is gay.
You forgot.
So what?
Enchanting. Keen.
You're literally picking the gay options. You do not have to do the gay thing if you don't want. There are ways around it, man. First of all. And second of all, even if there weren't, I don't care. Do you know how many fucking straight romance relationships there are in video games? Who gives a shit? Let the gays have one. Just let them have one. Yeah, even if it forces you into a gay relationship. Who gives a shit? Most games force you into a straight relationship. So I just don't care.
Sophisticated. Enchanting eyes.
Dude, how did we get here, bro? Like, why?
One game with the option to be gay, and like you're throwing a hissy fit. Shut the fuck up.
There's so much gay shit in games, dude. Is anybody else just tired? Like, you turn on Netflix,
immoral.
You turn on every single...
What do you think Assassin's Creed is about? You're literally like murdering people. Yeah, you want to talk about immoral? Like, what are you talking about?
Game and show you turn on now, it's just gay fucking dildos coming at you, and I'm
this violates my religion. I don't care. Cry about it. Cry and shit about it.
Done with it, man.
Fuck your religion.
I'm done with it. I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm a Christian. This shit
I am a
is
Christian.
wrong. It's sinful.
I'm a Christian. Damn it.
You should be ashamed. I'm done with it.
You need to abide by my religion
until they get back to just good old
sir
straight
slash
romances,
madam
like
slash
Edward
other
and Caroline, dude. She was hot. It was a great romance. Ezio and Christina.
Dude, go jerk off. Just go jerk off. You'll be fine.
And Sophia, dude, don't you remember Ezio? The dude was a player. These games were great. The fantasy of all of these games is being a straight dude and being a player. And for some reason, I'm now forced to play as a gay dude in these games. It's ridiculous, man. I hate
Get
it.
the fuck over it, okay? Okay, let's grant you that. Like I just said, there's one game out of how many that forces you, quote unquote, into being a gay person. Like, I don't even know if there is a game that does that. Like in reality, like not even what's the one game? Life is Strange. Like I think the true ending does result in like, you know, lesbian girls, but like you don't even have to do that. You can like I think you can have like an interest in some other guy. So like again, like I just can't think of a game that actually like locks you into being a gay character at all.
I only mean you could do with a bit
Plenty
more
that lock
color,
you into being a straight
more
character.
beauty, something to invite
You just
joy
gave us plenty of
into this
examples.
place. Other than your sparkling wit, I mean.
Gross.
For the moment, I shall retire to the bamboo grove near the stable.
Dude, this is so retarded. You could say, I'm glad we're friends, or I want more than friendship.
Really?
Okay.
I do not think I've
You're
ever seen
picking the
you
gay
quite so
option.
tongue-tied.
You are doing
Not
that.
yet.
You could have just stayed friends, man. Okay? You could just be friends with the non-binary person who may or may not be gay. I don't know. Yeah, you can just be friends with them. You don't have to do the gay thing. If this is gay, if this person identifies as male, I don't care.
Here comes the butt sex.
Please.
Just
I hope you aren't
so
easily
weird.
chilled.
Ugh.
Why is it gross? Like you're literally censoring the kiss.
Bro, like what happened to Assassin's Creed, dog? Dude, like
wait, you couldn't have gotten a version of this that like didn't have this. Okay.
Bro, like what
This is
happened to
pre-edited
Assassin's
video.
Creed, dog? Dude, like so many based, masculine, straight romances in this game. Ubisoft is actively working
Based, masculine, and straight,
with
brother.
the Canadian government, CSE, to censor negative Assassin's Creed Shadows coverage. So guys, imagine the police coming to your house to arrest you because you didn't like the DEI goy slop that was pushed in the game you just played. Arrest him for criticizing our game. Like,
Oh
this
my
is so
God.
freaking ridiculous. This is another screenshot from the CSE, one of their meetings. They were having a meeting about the transnational extremist threat and all of these extremists. Like, apparently, if you don't eat the goy slop that they're giving you, if you don't gobble down the game like a good piggy and accept this DEI
This is crazy. All of this because you can be a man who kisses another man in video game. That's crazy, man. Dude, like, do you have nothing better to do? That's crazy.
You're a national security threat. And
Crazy
you're gonna have
work.
to be arrested, dude. It is absolutely insane where we're headed as a society. Ubisoft is preparing to curb the backlash against critics of Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're going as far as sending lawyers after you if they deem your criticism.
You know what? Good. I hope they see you to oblivion. I hope you go to jail. Yeah, maybe you deserve it.
A targeted
You know what?
attack or harassment.
No freedom of speech for you. You've demonstrated that you're not worthy of it.
It's an initiative from Canada. There's a
Maybe we
team that
should go after
monitors
freedom of
networks and
speech.
acts quickly in the events of a targeted attack. Ugh. This is how these people are such pussies, dude. It's like your criticism of a game now is being considered.
When your inbox is like bombarded by death threats, yeah. You know, you might need a little bit of help with that.
Targeted harassment.
I've been there.
You're not, guys, in the globalist.
It was
Jewish
targeted
economy.
harassment.
You're not allowed to.
He's just trolling. There's no way. Like, once you say the word Jewish, like, he's so fake too. Like, why do people watch him still? He was clearly exposed in like that one debate with that one guy as like not knowing what the fuck he's talking about or being able to defend any of his positions ever. Like, he was just trying to get a gotcha the entire debate. It was very pathetic. And like, he's just faking this. Like the guy he was debating proved it because like he had like pro LGBT positions a few years ago. Like, He's just fake. He's like, this is all an act that he is putting on to generate income from dumbasses.
Criticize games anymore. If you criticize a game and say this is trash, I don't want to play this gay trash, they're going to come after you with police, dude. Guys, we live in absolute a fascist clown world now where you can't even criticize a game. You have to gobble down that DEI goy slop. Otherwise, you're a problem. I wanted to explain some of the reasons why I think it's a terrible game. So what you'll notice from the opening cinematics is that Assassin's Creed, of course, has always been about appreciating history, and the Animus takes you back into history. The Animus uses your bloodline, and it somehow uses the DNA of the person in the present day to go back into their...
I have horrific news for the straights. Gay people have always existed. There have always been people with penises who like penises. There have always been people with vagoobers who like vagoobers. There have always been people with tits who like tits. Okay? There have always been these things. Like, it's always been there. Like, look at the fucking animal kingdom. All right? It's even there. So, like, it's not ahistorical to say that there were gay people there. Because there were. It's ahistorical to pretend like there weren't. Dumb fuck.
Their bloodline to look at history. And the opening of the game and the entire game is couched in this honoring of history because we're going back into history and we're learning other things about what happened. But the problem, of course, is
you
that
don't care about history.
This never happened. Yasuke, whatever, however the heck you say his name, the dude, he was a slave and he was an oddity, and he was at some point a personal bodyguard of Nobunaga. But there is no evidence that he was trained as a samurai. There's no evidence that he was a warrior.
You can base a story off of an historical character and not stick to like the hard facts. It's not a big deal. Like, I don't see anybody complaining about the movie 300. Okay? Like, everybody knows it's ahistorical as shit. Okay? But it's a good fucking movie, isn't it? Sometimes it's fine to fudge it a little bit. It's not a big deal. Like, for entertainment's sake, yeah. As long as you acknowledge that, like, yeah, this is not entirely historically accurate. Who cares?
There's no evidence that...
How the fuck do you fuck up pronouncing Nobunaga like that? Yeah, I don't know.
Anything from this game happened. And
wait, is he saying Nobunga? That's literally just like a racist thing. Is that what he's saying?
So this game ends up feeling like is Rush Hour. You've taken Chris Tucker and you've thrown him in Hong Kong, which is hilarious. I love all three Rush Hour movies. They're hilarious and they're amazing movies. But the difference is that this knows that it's a comedy and it's ridiculous. This doesn't know that it's a comedy. A game not realizing that it's a comedy,
how is it a comedy?
Can ruin a game because this is absolutely comedic. And then you pile on top all the gay stuff. Not only is he a samurai, but he's a gay black samurai. And guys, it's simply too much for me to take. Like we'll get into the why of all this, but I want to respond to one more meme that was sent to me. So first and foremost, this futuristic artifact thing in the old Assassin's Creed game, it wasn't really an important plot device. It didn't really hinge on the whole game. But guys, this entire game, you are playing as a...
Wait, that's a good point, though. Futuristic artifact with superpower in 1476 Germany. Yeah, black man in Japan. No, it's historical. Yeah, like, it's a fucking video game filled with historical inaccuracies, but you get mad at the gay black guy. Yeah, that's the point.
Hinge on the whole game. But guys, this entire game, you are playing as a black samurai in a ridiculous world, in a ridiculous history that could never happen. That's a little bit
That could never happen. That could have not conceivably ever happened. How dare they? Listen, I can buy the whole using technology to live my past ancestors' life through their eyes. And there's also a creed of assassins that never actually existed. I guess. But like, once you start talking about black men who might or might not be gay, that's where I draw the line.
Than them just taking a random object that you're looking for. And
how dare you take my perfectly historically accurate video game and put a black person in it? How dare you?
Futuristic and unrealistic. But even be that as it may, people generally agreed, okay, this is cool. I don't care. Leonardo da Vinci, great, cool. But the question with a black man in Japan in the 1600s is you're immediately asking why. Like, we're okay with some liberties being taken with history.
Don't they reference?
But why are you taking?
Don't they reference in the game, like that he doesn't look the same as everyone else? Like that's referenced in Assassin's Creed, isn't it? Like a few characters make comments like, "Oh, I've never seen somebody who looks like you before." Like I'm pretty sure it's referenced. But even if it weren't, like as long as it's a good game, I just don't care that much.
Taking this liberty with history, and it's because of all of the degenerate leftists, and it's all of the people who hate Trump who are supporting.
How dare they? How dare they?
And of course, they're all giving the games 9s out of 10s and 10 out of 10s, and calling it stunning and brave for doing all this. Those of us who are rational and have sane minds are definitely asking why. And it's obvious they're doing this because of their gay virtue signaling for their gay woke BS. And they did this in Battlefield 5.
This is a series where super advanced aliens caused all of history. That's pretty great. How dare they? How dare they put a black gay guy in my historically accurate rendition of how aliens caused the entirety of Earth's history? How dare they do that?
Did this in Little Mermaid. They've done this in 100
how historically
games and
inaccurate
100
of them.
Properties. They always ram a black person in because of injustice or equality, or they're a bunch of white liberal women.
No, it's not that people are ramming black people into places they don't belong. It's that you see a black person and your amygdala grows by like 1 inch. Okay, a square inch. Okay, that's what's happening. Because you can't handle the fact that sometimes black people are simply in video games sometimes. And sometimes you play as those black people, and sometimes those black people are gay. And who cares? As long as the game's good, who gives a shit? You don't complain about playing as like a blue hedgehog in Sonic. Okay? You want to talk about historical inaccuracy? How about biological inaccuracy? That is not a fucking hedgehog. The damn liars. That looks nothing like a hedgehog. But I accept it. You know why? Because it's fucking fun. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay? So fuck the inaccuracy. Like, it's just a game, dude. It's not that serious.
Women who think that they're going to solve this. The fans have spoken. If you go back to the original trailer for Assassin's Creed Shadows, it's 305,000 up, 611 down. Everybody can see through this, guys. You're not being.
Okay, the game's great and really good, but like if you look at the trailer, the YouTube trailer is really bad, and that was before the game came out. I know, but like now that people have played the game, they're actually rating it good, and I have to come up with excuses for why it's rated so good. Like this is pathetic, man. It's very pathetic.
Being tricky, you've never been tricky, and people completely see through this, and they don't want it. So let me play this clip really quick from Fextra Life.
What I found was that the Yasuke protagonist doesn't really deliver much of an Assassin's Creed story, and what it does present doesn't work, and it seems to not work very specifically because of choices made regarding the two protagonists. On one hand, you have Naoe. Her journey and motivations are plausible, and to me she feels like the actual protagonist of the game, and the one really telling the Assassin's Creed story, as she's an Iga shinobi that sneaks around kind of like an assassin. But more importantly, her character grows and develops as you play. Compelling storytelling is almost always due to compelling character development, and while Naoe has a clear motivation and experiences that lead to changes in her thinking and actions, Yasuke simply never changes or grows throughout the entire game. You meet Servant Yasuke as an honorable, charming, strong warrior. You then fast forward a bit to Samurai Yasuke, who is an honorable, charming, strong warrior. Nothing changes at all, and the actual journey from Servant to Samurai is fast-forwarded, lacks depth, challenge, or world building, and ultimately presents you with what feels like a Japanese person wearing a Yasuke costume.
I mean, that feels like a pretty fair argument. It doesn't sound like he would, like, that sounds legitimate. Yeah. Like, okay, it sounds like they're just upset that, like, Yasuke didn't get more character development. He just was kind of there. I can understand that. Yeah. I mean, the game's not above criticism and critique. Like, that's fine. But that has nothing to do with what you're saying about it.
This is what these people always do. Have y'all noticed that these like liberal white women, they fetishize black people and they worship black people? And it's usually because these people live in like Portland where they've never even met a black person. And so they fetishize them and they worship them. Like people like this are like, oh, I believe in racial injustice. We need to fix it. And she's never even met a black person. But the way this ties into the video is notice Fextra Life said that Yasuke is an honorable, good.
You know who fetishizes black people? Conservative men. If you look at the Pornhub searches, I believe that specifically like black cuckold porn is like really popular in conservative areas. Don't quote me on that, but also take that as fact.
The charming black man in the beginning, and he in the middle is an honorable, good, charming black man, and at the end he's an honorable, good, charging black man. And it's because when you have DEI hires and when you have diversity hires, you have to treat them perfectly and act like they don't have any flaws. Otherwise, oh, you might be racist. It's like, oh, if
I don't no, that's not a real thing. Like, no.
If we had Yasuke be a bad guy in the beginning or at the end, well, oh, now we're making a racist game and we can't do that.
Also, like, you spent this entire video complaining about like the fact that he is black and gay, like not his character development. If this video were about his character development and why it's actually racist that he doesn't have very good character development, then I would hear you on that. But like, you're just complaining that there is a black and gay person in the game. Hi.
Ooh, is this the new one?
Yes.
Nice.
He's mad because you can be black and gay.
That sounds awesome. I don't understand why we have a problem with this. Actually, I do, but it's a stupid reason, so I don't understand it, actually.
Yeah, he's an oddball.
We've done 2 strength sets. We have 1 more, and then we do our stretches.
Cool.
We've only been doing 2 sets up to now, so we're going up to 3 tonight.
Sounds like fun.
I actually feel pretty okay, all things considered.
Well, that's good.
Like, I know I'm going to be sore, but I'm not as sore while the workout is happening. Does that make sense? So it's like easier to push through it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. See you later.
All right. Have fun.
And so you can't give any, it's like you can't give your character any development because they have to be so good and moral the whole game. And that's why so many of these games where they insert a minority for no reason aren't compelling video games. This is
but
huge.
It's not for no reason. They literally said that he started as a servant. Like, that was... I don't know what the dynamics were back then in, like, antiquity Japan, but, like, that checks out, right? Like they would have a black servant at the time, right? Or is that not a thing? Like, where people sometimes just servants and I'm the racist? I don't know. Anyway, I just don't see why it matters that much.
See what feels like a Japanese person wearing a Yasuke costume. And I say this largely because besides children, the people Yasuke meets in his travels barely ever acknowledge he is a foreigner. They never react strangely or interested.
Dude, exactly. In the 1600s, there was like 1 black person in the entire country. And his point is that no.
But like, I feel like that would get old really quickly. You know, like a few comments here and there, fine. But like, this isn't like a movie. This is a video game. And so if you just constantly have people like, oh my God, a black person. Like, I just feel like that gets old really fast. You know?
Nobody brings that up at all. Like, it's absurd. This game is absurd. Nobody's bringing up the fact that he's a random black guy walking around and they've never seen a black guy in their life.
And they interact with him as though he isn't any different than any other lord. People bow to him as if he's the shogun or daimyo. The ladies can't get enough of him. And the tiny locals have no chance against his physical prowess, including the most experienced and hardened generals, warriors, and shinobis of the time period.
Tell an authentic black man's story. Tell an authentic Asian man's story. Tell an authentic white man's story. But don't ram a black guy in there just because you want diversity, dude. That's why we're so tired of this trash. That's why this garbage is so bad. So, but
I just like the guy's critique was fair, but like, it's a fucking game. And if you have NPCs constantly commenting on the fact that you're a black dude, I feel like that gets weird. Especially if you're a black person playing it. It's like, yeah, that'd get kind of weird. You know, just enjoy the game.
In closing here, I want to focus in on the question of why. Why did they ram a black guy into an Assassin's Creed game? And I'll tell you why. And it's because of perceived racial injustices. Oh yeah, because this chick, these horrible white.
What is this a picture of? I don't know where this is or what they're doing. Like, why am I looking at this picture? There's a couple of people with blue hair. Is that why?
Yeah, because this chick,
where did this picture come from?
These horrible white liberal women are gonna educate you about racial injustice. This chick who's met one black person in their entire life is going to educate me on racial injustice. Oh yeah, this is going to be great. This fat trans chick is going to educate you on inequality and being more inclusive and racial injustice. Now,
she could, like, yeah. I mean, I know a thing or two about racial injustice. I could educate you, sure. Like, it doesn't have to be me, but you know, what if it were like a black guy who wanted to educate you about racial injustice? What do you think? Like, I can think of a couple who might be interested. Would that be better? Like, oh no, that still wouldn't be better because it's not about how the person looks. You just think that like racial injustice and talking about it is like talking about it or addressing it is cringe or something.
What is their proof that America is a racially injustice?
They think George Floyd proves we'll live in a society with inequality. They think George Floyd proves we'll live in a society with. I'm assuming he means we. And we do live in an unequal society, an unjust society. It's not just that George Floyd proves it; it's that he is an example of it, because he was unjustly murdered in broad daylight by a police officer. And that happens a lot. So yeah, he's a good example of it. That's a rare example, Derek Chauvin, of the cop actually receiving justice, which is great. So, but it sucks that George Floyd died and was killed by that guy. Like, that sucks. And that's the point. Like, that happens a lot.
In unjust place? Well, they think George Floyd proves that we live in a society with inequality, but it doesn't. The whole thing with George Floyd was a tragedy. I think it's an absolute tragedy, but it doesn't actually prove that we live in an unjust or an unequal society.
Not necessarily, but it's one example on a pattern. When there's a pattern there, that is evidence. We have evidence. Like, why don't black people tend to earn as much money as white people on average? Why do black people tend to have more medical disparities and complications than white people on average? Like, it just seems like, in general, if you're born black, you are just doomed to a worse life than if you had been born white. And that's the point.
Look at these stats. These are some interesting stats. Blacks killed by whites, 2%. Blacks killed by police, 1%.
Oh, no.
Whites killed by police, 3%. Whites
not
killed by whites,
1350
16%.
posting.
Whites killed by blacks, 81%. Blacks killed by blacks, 97%. Why is, we act in America
97%.
Like police are the number one problem that black people have. That's actually not the number one problem in the black community. It's not police. And yet we act like that is the number one.
Okay, but when you talk about black on black crime, right? Like, yeah, that exists, but like nobody talks about white on white crime. Like, if you're white, you're way more likely to be killed by a white person than by a black person. You know, like white people, like, so most crimes take place between people who know each other, and because we as a country are still largely segregated, like, you're going to have white people committing crimes against other white people and black people committing crimes against other black people on average. Like, that's just going to be the reality. So, what are these percentages even? Like, you got blacks killed by whites, 2%. 2% of what? Of what? Like, the number of black people who are killed? Is that what they mean? Okay, I see. So 2% of black people who are killed by white people. And it's 1% killed by the police. But if you look at the statistics, black people are like 9 times more likely than white people to be killed by the police. Especially, I think it's black men specifically. Like, black men are way, way more likely to be killed by police on average. And that's the point. It's institutional racism. Like, it's... Even the black cops are taught, like, to be suspicious of black people. Like, it's ingrained. So, like, you can talk about crimes among the populace all you want, but the point is that we have government-sanctioned racist institutions. That's the point.
Problem. Another thing that these people believe is that America has inequality, that it's the poor people who come to America, they have no chance, and you just simply have no chance in America. If that were the case, explain this to me. Why can first-generation Indian immigrants, first-generation Turkish and African and Chinese immigrants...
There are some exceptions, so everybody's actually fine and equal, and it's like, no.
Why can people move here from all over the world and within one generation be making tons of money and be very successful?
Raw luck.
I'll tell you why. It's because if you're not successful in America, it's your own damn fault.
I hate him so much. Shove him in a locker.
But what it does is that it proves that American society is not unequal, is not unequal. We do not have an inequality problem here. We do not have a unjust racial injustice problem. If anything, I'd actually say America is the least racist country on earth. Other countries that aren't America are more...
We're so not racist, right? It's not like just, 70 or so years ago, we had like separate bathrooms for black and white people. Like it's not like there are still people alive today that were like alive before the civil rights movement and the passage of civil rights for black people in America, right? Yeah, least racist country on earth. Good stuff.
Much more racist. But we do not have an inequality problem. You are, no matter what background you're from, you can be successful.
Yeah, Oprah Winfrey exists. Therefore, racism is over.
Successful in America, just like these people were. And it's because they worked their ass off when they got here. So anybody who
I just think people should just get the shit that they need to survive. Like, we have it, let's give it to them kind of thing. As opposed to them like dying. I feel like that's a good system to have.
Complains about like, oh, America's so unjust and racial inequality. If that were the case, why can these people in one generation be successful?
Dude, like, this is like brain dead arguments.
It blows your whole theory apart. So guys, look, I didn't really
Nobody's
want to talk
ever
about
thought
politics.
of that.
I just wanted to explain y'all the why. The why is because a bunch of ugly fat...
Hold on, let me look at something. Keep your shitty politics out of games. Like, but like, wait, hold on. That's fucking, wait. That's Disco Elysium. That's Disco Elysium. That's like the politics game. The fuck do you mean keep your shitty politics out of games? What do you think Disco Elysium is about? You have the politics game in this spread. Dude. That's so... I'm so glad I went back to look at that, because, like, I just wanted to make sure, and I did not think that I would actually find the politics game on this fucking spread. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Like, I could make an argument, right, about Zelda being political, and it would be valid, but I feel like that's harder to support than, like, actually the fucking communist game.
I wanted to explain y'all the why. The why is because a bunch of ugly, fat, white liberal women think that you need to be educated about racial inequality. That's why they made this game. And we don't have to play it. And to be honest,
you don't.
To keep
so shut up and don't.
Out of my video games. And I want to go back to the 90s and the 2000s.
There's a gay black man. It's politics now. It's politics because he's black and gay, and that's politics.
When women were
that's
hot,
what politics is
dudes
to me.
were cool, stories were good, and we didn't have so many freaking politics in games. All right, boys, I'm out. Bye.
It is political to say that, like, games used to be cool and, like, the women were hot. Like, that is a political statement. You understand that, right? Like, you are doing political propaganda. Gotta love Andy Pants. Yeah, the video was shit. Okay, what do I wish to do now? What's on the agenda? Andrew Shorts has such a permacooked brain. Ooh, Dylan Burns is doing a debate.
For example, like slander cases, or like some of these cases that are put forward by, I remember that coal executive was really famous for throwing out slap cases like crazy in order to suppress people who were talking about his business. There's a few businessmen who do this. The way they abuse the theory is that people don't have the cost to go out there and pay for lawyers and pay for stuff to go actually fight these cases, so they just retract. Right? Now, Ann Seltzer is a wealthy person. Maybe she'll be able to do it. She's an old woman, so maybe she won't want to bother doing it now that she's trying to retire. I don't know. But the problem is going to be these cases are going to have to be evaluated on a case-by-case basis. And if the president decides to continue pursuing these cases, then the president is being set that, okay, if you release a bad poll against the president, this is what's going to happen to you. And if we don't find anything behind this being, you know, manipulation or whatever, then what are we going to say? What was the intention of Trump?
Yeah, but how do you know it till you look? How do you know it? Like, so like you have a problem with the looking, right? Okay, cool. If it looks and it's
to be clear, does this mean that Biden can open investigations into Rasmussen if they ever give him a bad poll, or he can sue them and like, make them have to go get lawyers and stuff like that? This is, I don't like the, can't somebody else, even if it was manipulation, why the president going to say to go to protect his own name in the polls?
So he's directing the government to do. He's the president, right? He's going to go, okay, I think that this was fraud. I think they were in cahoots. Let's look into it. We'll try this person first.
He looks like,
okay, they tried and they find out there was nothing there, right? Cool. That's the legal president. If they, and then cool, going forward.
You know the Santa Claus where Tim Allen turns into Santa?
Right? But guess what?
He looks like the in-between phase of that.
Like this, right? And say these guys are going, the intimidation is also true if they do find something. Well, this is going to be like, oh, shit. Well, now we actually have to make sure our polls are meeting a legal standard that's scientific going forward. I feel like that would be something we would all want to ensure non-biased polling that's trying to rig an election. But you're already like, that would be intimidation in a good way, right? But like, we're only focusing on this one hyper-partisan like situation on the one side.
But the problem is,
you're not even
okay, where is Trump's lawsuits against those who pulled him way ahead?
Well, they ended up him being right. He like won in a landslide.
No, I said no, he didn't win a landslide, but I said way ahead. He got a plurality of the vote. He got like 48 to 47.5
he swept all the states he was told he wasn't going to sweep. I mean, that's a landslide.
Yeah, that's okay. If we're saying, wait, to be clear, he swept the swing states. If you want to see a landslide, go look at LBJ or Ronald Reagan, or go look at a real landslide.
Oh, Andrew Shorts. Because it's like Andy pants, and shorts are a type of pants. Now I get it. Okay, sorry. Dylan sounds like he's doing good. Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I will be right back. I return. I was telling my beautiful wife, that I would like to read more One Piece with her tonight. We ran out of episodes to watch in the dub. So W for that. We caught up on the anime. So we're reading now. Well, I am caught up on the manga, but she needs to catch up on the manga. So she's reading the manga. And I wanted to read some more with her tonight. So with that being said, I probably only have time for one more. Should I even do another one? I have so many like videos in the backlog that I don't even know if that's a good idea. Like I just keep adding to this backlog of raw content, and then it just never gets uploaded to YouTube. Do you think reacting to the Jimmy Dore vid I sent on Discord will lead you to get getting TOS?
He will see in Baker spoke about.
It's possible. Oh no, not Norman Finkelstein. Wait, did Norman Finkelstein say something cringe? Like, I know he's not good on LGBTQ issues, but like, I thought that like he was cool about Palestine, and I thought he was cool. Did you see the thumbnail? It's true Jews controlled Hollywood. Yes, I saw the thumbnail. I just like am not in the mood for him. I have a picky palate tonight. What's Melanie Mac up to? Melanie Mac is fun. Everybody's complaining about the Assassin's Creed game. People need to be original. Alright, Melanie Mac's got nothing fun to watch right now. I don't know if I want to watch another one anyway. I think I'm just gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to play Sonic Adventure 2 until my wife decides that she wants to read One Piece. That's what I'm gonna do. No. Oh, shit, hold on. I need to turn on my controller and then start the software. There we go. How about the anti-woke vid I sent a while ago? Which one's this? I'll look at it real quick. When Republicans don't hold back against woke Democrats, number 2. From 5 months ago. This is lame. This is just a bunch of losers dancing about a fascist becoming their president.
Was already president, and he didn't take away gay marriage, he didn't enact a national abortion ban, so stop scolding working class people.
He put in SCOTUS members that overturned Roe v. Wade. That was Donald Trump's doing. Hello? Yeah, I don't think I'm in the mood for this right now. I'll save it to the old... yes, that's the one. Okay. We'll do it later. I have more important things going on. Tina, what is that?
File select. Stage select.
Some criticisms of Assassin's Creed Shadows that I actually agree with is the criticism they've received from the Japanese community for messing up the environment, having greenery that only grows in certain seasons and the wrong ones, animals in the wrong areas. Like, yeah, that, and also, like, I could see, like, the main character, not, like, Yasuke, not having very good development as a character. Like, I'm sure there are valid criticisms to make of the game. I just, like, from freaks like Andy Pants, it's, like, only, like, gay black man is bad because he's gay and black. That makes me personally uncomfortable for some reason. Shit, do I want to try to get an A on this right now? Hello, Daharama, thank you for the raid. Why did the raid alert not play? The raid alert should have played. I fixed the alerts. Well, thank you anyway for the raid. I appreciate you. Okay, I'll try.
System alert. System alert. The intruder has breached the system area. Initiate debug program.
Can you please? Thank you. Unlucky, I broke it. Well, I fixed it all today, or at least I thought I did. But now it's just not working at all for some reason. Ah. Okay. What? That was bullshit. I don't think I can mentally handle this stage right now.
Stage select.
What's a good one? Let's do, I could try this one. I don't know what you're saying, Tina. Oh, wait. Under rings. Need the rings. Ah. Okay, if you say so, Tina. I can't make out what you're saying. But I'm glad you're having fun. That's the important thing. Dude, find 100 rings is hard if it's not Sonic or Shadow. Oh, come on. Oh. I don't know if I can do this right now. I might just end. Oh, fuck. Go. Thank you. Ah. You know, what is this?
Okay, bye.
Very good. Tina's been sending me a lot of Walking Dead memes. We're watching the show together. It's very fun. Also, we played Chapter 1 of the Telltale games, which was very good, and I enjoyed it. Okay. Can I find rings, please? No! Come the I can't.
Stage select.
Forget about it. Ugh. I want to play it, but I don't know if I can right now. I'm too tired. You know what I have been playing lately? Actually, let me show you something crazy. Here, hold on. What I have been playing lately, which is not impressive whatsoever. I've been playing a lot of TCG Simulator. My shop looks nutty right now, okay? You don't even know. I'm cracking open packs like crazy. Okay? Collecting those cards. You gotta see how many cards I fucking collected. Like, oh my god. I got like 1,300 cards. It's crazy. Democracy and the Constitution are anti-everything the left pretends to care about. Prove me wrong. I mean, the Constitution has some good things in it. Like basic rights. Like, there's a lot of stuff in the Constitution I would keep. The right to free speech, for instance. So yeah, we got the shit cards there. We got the binders, the boxes, the dice. We got your cards over here. We got your card cases over here. We got your green backs, your red backs, your dolls. We got your dolls over here, your plushies. We got more cards than you can fucking imagine. It's nuts in here. We got your high quality top of the line cards right here, okay? We've sold cards worth thousands of dollars before. This is worth $137. Not bad at all. We got, what's your name again? Let's see, Zachary. So this one's Clark Cash. We also got Angus Mick, Terrence Fay, and Zachary Cole. And Zachary is a slow piece of shit, but he does his best, so he can stay. Take your time, Zachary. No rush. Oh, shit. Oh. 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 I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay, I can't take anymore. Oh no, I kind of fucked myself. Ah! I can just put it back in here. Is there no slot? I guess not. Wait, I was using those. These were my cards to open. He stole them from me. There should be limits on free speech. Yes, there are limits on free speech, like being able to threaten people, okay? You can't do that. It's a big no-no. Yelling fire in a crowded theater. You can't do that. Big no-no. Anything that puts other people's liberty at risk is a no-no for free speech. I'm not a free speech absolutist. I don't think anybody is. I think people who claim to be are stupid and don't know what their actual beliefs are. Because nobody thinks, like, there are things that nobody should ever say. Okay? Like, without further context. Like, if you say, I'm going to kill you, you better have a damn good reason. You know? Or be joking. And it better be clear that you are joking. There should be more. I mean, possibly. Why is he ignoring me? Why doesn't he pay attention to me? I used to be a free speech absolutist before my frontal lobe finished developing. Yeah, it's very stupid. Nobody's a free speech absolutist. Anybody who claims they are is lying. Okay, I think I'm going to call it here. I want to see if Katie would like to read One Piece. And if not, then I might play more Telltale. We'll see. Who's live? Oh yeah, Dylan Burns. I like that guy. Okay. Thank you all very much for coming. Love you all. Thank you for watching. I will be back on Friday. Oh yeah, next week I have a conversation planned out with a I forget her name. Sorry, I should know her name. But she's like this famous doctor from the UK who does like work with trans people. And she's going to come on and talk about the situation across the pond. So look forward to that. I believe that's next week. I got to double check with her again. But yeah, that'll be exciting. So yeah. But yeah, I'll be back on Friday. Thank you all again for being here. Love you all and have a great night.